I am painting some miniatures. I've got a couple of fancy miniatures, like nothing big that I want to go ahead and put the finishing touches on so I can go ahead and store them. And then I've got a lot of mechs, a lot of mechs. Um, I think just based on my buying habits, since the last time I counted up how many mechs I have, I've probably broke 1,000. So I'll be honest with you guys too. The metal ones, I'm if I thought I could get, you know, anything resembling a fair price, I would probably sell the metal ones. I won't trade them into the local comic shop though. I mean, I've got a local comic shop that wants me to trade in a bunch of my stuff, and I'm going to, but it won't be the metal mechs though. I just can't do that. So first off, okay, for those of you who are wondering, and I'm going to probably make an actual video about this. I'm going to mention it on this live stream. I have, so you look at me, boy. I got the Commander's edition of Alpha Strike. Oh, and I need to comment on another thing too, but and campaign operations. That's right, ready to rock. Um, I have two of this book. Now, this book sucks in my opinion. Kind of. I'm still keeping one. And the reason I'm keeping the one is because, yeah, it did add some other mechs that aren't in the original, which is what I got. Like the Crockett, I don't think is in the original. The Flashman's not in the original. So what this book did, Black Knight, not in the original. What this book kind of did is it kind of waffled a lot of the mechs from 3027, or not 3027, 2927 or whatever, the Star League era, right? And added it to this book. So this is a really good book, but I also have the 3025, the original. So I'm probably going to make a video, and I'm going to ask some silly question, and whoever answers it and wants this book and doesn't have it or has it, I don't care. Whoever wins will end up. I will mail this to you anywhere in the continental United States. I would love to mail stuff to Canada, but the Canada is crazy style when it comes to mailing stuff there. I don't know what the hell's going on. Because like from where I live to Quebec is probably shorter distance than from where I live in LA. And to send anything to Montreal costs, phew, you know, it's so weird. It's like if I send it to Buffalo, New York, it's not bad. But if it goes across that border, and that sucks. You know why? Because there are a lot of people in Canada that are bros that I would love to send stuff back and forth to. Like Dungeon Minister, I've sent him a few things in the past, and I would send him more things, but you know, it's just like, why does it gotta be so damn hard? It's like if there was any reason, and believe me, guys, I'm not a let's conquer Canada guy, but if there was any reason I would be happy about the US absorbing Canada, it would be that hopefully then I could send friends in Canada stuff without them trying to charge me $40 in postage for like one book. So that would be the only reason that'd be the main reason I'd be cool with just taking over Canada. That putting into the postage bullshit. So even though I got mechs to work on, first off, I'm going to work on this guy. I haven't got his wings glued on, but it's basically just a giant. You know what? It occurs to me this is supposed to be, brother, this is supposed to be a hornet, but it could easily stand in for like the queen of a giant ant nest. So that's kind of cool. So the first thing I'm doing is on its little tail part. What is that called? It's not a thorax, is it? Oh, I don't know. I forget. I'm going to paint some black on. Just a couple of them. Now, wood hornets in my home Commonwealth of Kentucky, their whole butt is black. So they're all red, and then they got a black thing. They get about an inch long, and you call them wood hornets because they live in wood. And like I've mentioned before, getting stung by a wood hornet has been compared to being shot with a 22. So, not really something you want to do. Remember one time we were all riding in the back of a truck and we are all standing up and we're going down State Road 27. I don't know, maybe we're running in Tennessee to get some booze or something. And one of my brothers, I don't remember if it was Haas or Lee or Sean or whoever it was, there was a bunch of us there. And I have a lot of, I call them brothers, even though, they're half brothers or whatever. I'm doing good, buddy. I'm doing good. And you could just join the channel and ask these questions unless you're at the doctor or something. He got hit square in the chest by a wood hornet while standing up in the back of the truck looking over the cab. This thing popped him, it knocked him on the ground. And believe me, it lit his ass up. So we all did what you do when you're younger and something really horrible happens to a brother. We laughed our asses off. It was Lee. Yeah. We laughed and laughed. It was like, for the rest of us, it was like the funniest thing we'd ever seen, right? But he got a knot in the center of his chest, like above his solar plexus, the size of a freaking golf ball. I mean, that thing, it laid into him, man. Yeah, there was no. And speaking of funny things, one of my haters, a guy who has been known to go around and tell people not to hang out with me because of how hateful and evil I am, commented on a video saying he can't allow me to spread battletech misinformation. That's Raven. And all I got to say to Raven is, yeah, I get shit wrong. And yeah, I admit you probably know a lot more about shit than I do. And it's really sad that you got to be a bitch. And instead of keeping your Trump derangement syndrome under wraps and just coming on and being a bro, which I would expect from another military guy, you run around, like I said, like a bitch and talk shit behind my back to people and tell them not to, they shouldn't be, involved with me because I'm such a horrible person. Uh, it's like, dude, are you a woman or what? You know what I mean? So, especially since he's been on the show and we had talked Battletech and stuff. And I have to admit, I was pretty fond of the guy, really. I mean, despite the fact that I knew he was practically communist, I still thought, this guy's a good guy. He just is a little mistaken in his politics, but hey, whatever. I'm sure now that Trump's president and running amok, he's probably losing his freaking mind. He's probably talking about how ICE is so horrible, and so maybe it's best he don't come on the channel since I support ICE 100%. Yeah, he was pretty cool. And then I said something. It might have been me talking shit about, I don't know, Africans, or uh, it could have been any number of things, if I'm honest. It could have been me complaining about how the new Warhammer fantasy role playing game is stupid as shit because they added like a bunch of obese people and uh, people of ethnicities that would never have existed in the original Warhammer, which I own, or even in the second edition, which was made by Green Ronin. Basically, what I'm saying is he is kind of the target audience for fifth edition D&D. You know, he doesn't understand that having a setting set in a fantasy version of the Holy Roman Empire doesn't mean you can just throw in just anything, right? That would be like making a setting of the kingdom of Mansa Musa and then having half the people in the setting be blonde or Asian. You know, it works both ways, man. It works both ways. But if you point that out, they get mad. It's like, and by they, I mean, you know, wokies. I don't mean specifically black people because I'll be honest with you, most of the black people I know don't give a shit either way. So this isn't a race issue whatsoever. It's a woke issue. Like, you know, your real guys, your real people, they know that they didn't invent chainmail, you know, and they know they were never kings of freaking Greece. And they know that, you know, like all this we was kings shit, it's the ones that want to buy into that that have a problem with me. The ones that listen to Thomas Sowell and understand what reality actually is, they don't have a problem with me. Bruce Lombardo. I was talking about you yesterday, Bruce, and it was all good. I mean, that might surprise you. I think I was streaming and then I thought maybe Bruce is streaming. So I told the people in my chat, I was like, I'll tell you what, if Bruce is streaming tonight, and he may be, I mean, you might rather look at Janet than me because you know she's way better looking than I am. And then like everybody left, so I think it worked. So I don't blame them. But yeah, Raven, if you end up hate watching this about this video, stop being a bitch, man. That's all. Stop being a bitch. You can come back. I'm very forgiving. I mean, anyone who knows me knows that about me. I am a very forgiving guy. And if I said something that hurt your feelings, all you got to do is tell me what it was and we'll work it out man to man. You know, we'll be like, I'll be like, I'm sorry I did that. That wasn't cool. You weren't streaming. Well, then I don't know where I sent everybody off to. But they did go. I have so much to paint. And what's crazy is I've gotten so much done. Where you been though, Bruce? It's like you vanished off the face of the earth for like a month. That's not true. I watched you and Janet talking about a movie not that long ago. The Good, Bad, and the Ugly. And I feel like, and next time you talk to Janet, you can tell her this. Based on her comments on the good, the bad, and the ugly, I don't think Janet really got it. I think she kind of sort of got it, but I don't know if she really got that movie. But I would have started her on maybe whichever one came first, Fistful of Dollars, or for a few dollars. Yeah, Fistful of Dollars. I would have started her on Fistful of Dollars. That's kind of the easiest of the Man with No Name movies to kind of get with, you know. I mean, or I mean, if you really want to shake it up, Once Upon a Time in the West. Yeah, yeah, I remember you said that. I remember you said that. Well, I mean, you know, Bruce, you're a bro, so you know anytime I'm on and you want to jump on and talk shit. And I do try to live right, but honestly, I fell at least 100 times every day. And like I tell people when they ask me about it, I always say, you know, it's not that you're never going to fail because you're going to fail. You're going to do stuff that's not cool and is, you know, sinful or whatever. It's going to happen. But the thing is to try to do better and also to try to be humble. And something I think I've pretty much mastered is forgiveness. Like I don't hold any ill will in my heart for anyone. And sometimes I've been told by people that I am way too forgiving. But honestly, I don't think so. I think I'm just the right forgiving, you know. Just like Amelia says, yes, I'm quoting a animated character. I'm not far right either. I'm just right. I love that saying. Amelia, not far right, just right. That cracks me up. The fact that a government actually set about to create a character to be the bad guy and it backfired so hard that now there's a million Amelias. It's just Amelias all over the damn place, and it serves them right. They shouldn't have been trying to, you know, your classmate Amelia, the cute goth chick, wants you to go to a protest against immigration. What do you do? It's like if I'm a 15-year-old, yeah. If I'm a 15-year-old guy sitting in class and the cute goth chick asks me to go to a protest with her, I know where I'm going. I'm not going to sit and be like, huh, is this protest wrong thing? No, I'm going to say, I'm going to that protest and maybe hook up with a hot goth chick. So it's obvious that whoever in the UK made that video was a bunch of women sitting in a room, or maybe some gay dudes in there with them too, right? Because if there had been just one single kind of center, politically center man in that room, he would have said, no, make the bad guy someone really ugly, you know? Don't, you know, like they should have made Amelia look like a troll, you know, and just horrible looking, be like, hey, you all go in there, you know, missing teeth and shit. And then make the good guy, the girl that's supposed to be good, also the one that aced the test, make her the hot one. And then the guy will be like, well, she won the test, but hey, you know, whatever. She's hot. You know, and I know a lot of people will be like, well, that's such a caveman way of looking at things. And I would just say, well, sweetheart, ooga booga, because that's the way it is. And, you know, I'm sorry if people don't like it. So the UK government, I think, is ran by midwits. You know, they just do stupid shit. And that is like the stupidest of stupid shit that they've ever done, I think. Like, and I know this is old because Asmongold and everybody's already talked about this. And it's like, but it's what's amazing about it is how common sense it is. You know what I mean? It's like if you're trying to appeal to young men, don't make the cute chick the bad guy. What is wrong with you people? And now there's an Amelia literally for every country, including the US, but they're not named Amelia, you know, like the one for Germany is named Maria. And there's a Canadian one, there's an American one, she's from Texas. There's a French one, I forget what her name is. Um, so pretty much, yes, all of Europe has their own specific CGI or AI Amelia, and they're all saying the same thing about getting rid of all the immigrants and everything like that. And um, it makes me wonder if why some of the right leaning parties in Europe are winning so hard. I would be interested to understand if there's some sort of correlation between Amelia, Maria, whatever, and the fact that the AFD in Germany is freaking doing better than ever. The Marie Le Pen's party is doing better than ever. Italy's already got a right leaning government. So, you know, and I mean, just purely as a intellectual exercise, I kind of wonder how powerful this meme actually become. You know, did the Amelia meme actually influence young voters? Because most of the young voters in Europe that are starting to vote right, or most of the voters in Europe that are starting to vote right, are young. They're like Gen Z and younger. So that's the generation memes actually affect more. I mean, Gen X, we like memes, but it's not going to make us change our life or anything. Oh, here's my dog. Yeah, he just got groomed. But so I would be interested in that. Oh, not that it affects you at all, brother, but um, the vampire storyteller is saying he's writing an actual end to that campaign we were all in. You were in for a little while, but I was in for like years. So, um, it is bittersweet to me because I've been playing that character. I'm not upset about it. But I've been playing that character for years. And so that whole campaign is going to finally end, you know. All the loose ends are getting tied up. Whatever happens to all of our characters, I kind of suspect my characters, freaking loud ass women, I expect my character may end up dead for the shenanigans I've been getting into. But I don't I don't care. I don't mind. If it's, you know, if it's the story, it's the story, you know. And when it comes to like vampire and games like that, I am a filthy story gamer for sure. And I'm okay with that, you know. Because it's been a while since I've been on X, so I don't know if the war between gamers and story gamers is still going on. I always found that to be a very strange argument because it's like, while Powered by the Apocalypse isn't my thing, I mean, I've role played with, you know, classic battletech. And I don't mean Mech Warrior, I mean the actual classic battletech, you know? So it's like the idea of story gaming and role playing, I'm just not 100% sure where I fall there, you know? Always role playing. I mean, I don't want people showing up and just sitting around the table rolling die for no reason. That's lame. But it's deep immersive storytelling. That's kind of where I am with Vampire the Masquerade and stuff like that. Whereas D&D, I'm more old school with D&D, hunting monsters, getting treasure, that sort of thing, right? So I need one color. Perhaps one of these days I should organize my desk. Bruce, if you're still there, man, I have been going crazy with Reaper miniatures lately. I know you're like the huge Reaper guy. Well, I guess between you and me, we're keeping Reaper in business these days. You know what I mean? And I've been buying weird stuff from Reaper. I haven't even been buying like normal stuff. What I would consider normal, like, dungeon monsters and stuff. No, not I. Yeah, I've been buying like giant prehistoric fish and gigantic. Actually, I don't know if that's gigantic or if they might even get that size. But big ass moray eels and like I said, giant freaking murder hornet looking things. And and it's mainly because, and I know some people are tired of hearing me talk about, but mainly it is because of playing Hyperborea. Hyperborea has a lot of really strange monsters in it, and a lot of them are things I never owned, had no miniatures for. I could have just stood something in, but now I did luck out because I already had a bunch of miniatures for Lovecraft, called Cthulhu. So I had that handled, but now they did let me down with one thing. I was showing Haas this. They have this miniature I bought two of called the Giant Grouper, which in the old days in Florida they called a Jew fish. Why I don't know. Why it was called a Jew fish, I don't know. And now it's the North or no, the Atlantic giant whatever. Like it's got a different name. Haas probably remembers from when we used to go fishing, right? And the rule with them is you can catch them, but you can never take them out of the water. So a lot of people will catch them and pull them right up to they're like waist deep and then pick them up. So you can take a picture and then like let them go because you can't keep them, right? The miniatures that are supposed to be gigantic groupers are smaller than the actual groupers. I was like, this is not gigantic because those gigantic groupers or colossal groupers or whatever they're called, people have seen those like legit pictures and stuff as big as a damn Volkswagen Beetle. I mean, it's a weird thing because people will be like, "Oh yeah, you can dive with those; they won't mess with you." Blah blah blah. And I'm always like, "It's a fish," And for some reason, people are really stupid because they think the fish actually has like thoughts about what it's going to do, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? That fish has zero thoughts about whatever it's going to do. Yeah, the colossal grouper. Um, if you swim up on that thing, it's basically a 50-50 whether it just gulps you down or not. And the big ones, yeah, the big ones could probably swallow a diver or swallow enough of you that you end up suffocating inside of its mouth. George, what's up, my friend? How you doing, George? So I was a little disappointed by that. That miniature needs to be about twice the size.
Hey,
Look
how's it going?
at that. Look at me. I'm a Mongolian riding my giant palm.
I love this shirt, dude. A friend of
The
mine,
ones I love the most lately have been the me and the House Merrick Mech Warrior gear.
yeah.
Those are really good.
So my friend Chris printed off a arch for me, and I'm gonna have to show you this arch 'cause I don't know if you've seen this yet, but I have the perfect painting light set up.
And he's sturdy and Phantom also like I keep the same routine always.
This
I feel like if I veered off, like did something instead of
Oh,
I did his butt first.
okay.
I think he would have been
everything was 3D printed. If it came off a Thingiverse, then I'll send you the link so you can print it off and get you the instructions for the LED.
You know, I'll tell you something, Bruce. I've kind of sworn off 3D printing. I gave my Saturn to my nephew.
What?
Yeah.
What world do we live in?
I realized, and I kind of can blame you for this,
What did I do?
that most of the stuff I really wanted, I could either get on Etsy cheaper than it cost me to make it, or just buy from Reaper.
Yeah, I really like.
because I used expensive resin.
Yeah.
So
resin
it's like,
cheap.
yeah, I can make a bunch of stuff, but I mean, a box of 4 battletech figures costs $30.
Yeah.
I can go on Reaper and they got miniatures on there for like $290 or something. You know, it's like, oh, look at that.
So this is supposed to be the Queen of Hell.
What was her name in AD&D? Is it like Glasnia or something?
I think so. I'm gonna have to crack open a PDF and check that out. And they have the King of Hell. And these are
Which in AD&D was Asmodeus.
Asmodeus, yes. Those are off the Reaper website.
Oh,
And
dude, I've got some stuff off the Reaper website. Let me tell you, like, I'm going to, after I shade this guy, I'm going to put his wings on.
I love those. Those are fucking awesome.
And I bought like 20 of their giant ants, and I bought a couple of the bigger winged ones too. And I'm really happy about it because it's like giant ants. I can use those in every single game I play.
In every game I want to run, the ants are there.
Yeah.
Every single one, from D&D to Star Wars to what's that one? The Starship Hulk that you wake up on. It's an old colony ship, and you wake up and like you don't even know your name. You're like, what the fuck am I doing? Where am I at? I've got this.
It's either Mothership or the game that they based Gamma World on.
It's not Metamorphosis Alpha, but it was based on that.
Yeah.
Metamorphosis Alpha was, I think, the first version of that.
Yeah, Metamorphosis Alpha was the game that they turned into Gamma World.
Yeah. Troll Lord Games has a big, thick tome that I found.
I gave mine away.
Yeah. You gave yours away?
Yeah. I read it. I gave it away for a prize. I forget who even won it.
Oh.
The Starship Warden?
Yes. I love that book.
It's all right, but I was never going to use it. So.
Hold on. We're gamers. We're gamers. Look at the stuff behind you.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting rid of most of it. I've already talked to my local comic shop about trade-ins and all kinds of stuff. Now, the Dragon stays. He needs to go out and get primered, finally. I've washed him. He's together. I need to paint him. But a lot of the stuff I'm never using is gone.
What's going on in your life to where your head's going in that direction?
Every now and then I look around myself and I say, I'm never going to use that. And then I get rid of it,
Okay.
which would be awesome if I didn't end up buying new stuff.
All over again.
But it's different stuff. I'm not rebuying stuff. So it's kind of like I just clear out the old stuff that I know for a fact I will never run or play. And then I get stuff that I might run or play. And then after a couple years, if I never run or play it, well, it goes to.
I'm just worried about you because you're giving away stuff and like that. It just doesn't like it's our entire nature to collect things.
I think if you were to ask Haas, he would agree that behind a lot of my blusteriness and the fact that I used to be, into doing bad things, I have always been very generous. Like always.
I cannot see you not being generous. Okay, that's just part of your
The
perspective. That's what
Yeah,
you do.
I've just always been super generous, and I've always kind of had this feeling in my head that if I don't if I don't need it and I'm not going to use it, I might as well just either sell it if it's something very expensive or just give it away. Like at the beginning of this video, I pointed out somehow I accidentally bought two of these. So I'll probably run a video, and whoever wins the contest can have it. I've got extras of every damn thing.
Um, I wouldn't do that if I were you because you're going to be playing BattleTech at your house, right?
I have the original 3025 with the Marauder on it.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of crappy 3025 that they put out when they couldn't show the unseen.
Yeah.
Plus, I got two.
The reason why I say this, I'm building up to my point. You could have that just in your shelf
Mm-hmm.
because whenever your friends come over to your garage or your basement, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, what you can do is like you say what year we're playing in, and your mech can be found here. And if they didn't bring their copy of it, your spare is in the shelf right behind you. And there's certain things like I have extra core rule books for Pathfinder. I have every campaign setting softcover for Pathfinder. I have all the original APs for Pathfinder. So if one of my friends needs to reference something and they don't want to get on the web, I tell them where it's at, go find it. Here's the shelving. Here's where it's at. I don't have my place all set up yet. We have rent or mortgage is coming up next week, so I have to stop buying stuff. But after that, like the first 2 weeks of every month, I buy like a new set of shelves and assemble them. And then after that, okay, the last half of the month we build up for the mortgage and lot payment because I live in a trailer court, but it's much nicer than what I had before. I have space. I have space, James.
Well, that's another reason I get rid of stuff when I start running out of space.
Hello, Mr. Pinkerton.
Hey, I'm not
Hey.
a Pinkerton, I'm a Pilkington. There's a lot of differences there.
It does.
But yeah, James, guess what we found recently?
Oh, geez, you're in Western Kentucky. I mean, really?
Well, we found our dog.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, I
Did
didn't
someone
expect it
kill
after. No, she ran off one day, and we thought something got her. I mean,
Yeah.
mainly we mainly thought it was a neighbor's pit bull, but apparently not. She just ran off, got stuck in a creek bed, and some neighbors found her.
Well, at least she had water.
Yeah, she had water.
That's so bad, but it's also a happy occasion, Timmy. I'm glad. Kids and their toys, that's a fact.
Oh man, I was just so surprised because we've lost her for like about 3 days. Neighbors were nice though.
So-
I mean, they took care of her, took her to the vet, got her cleaned up, and was feeding her table scraps.
Well, I'm just glad you got your puppy back. I'm glad Bruce has got a place again, so that I don't have to worry where in the hell he is all the
Yeah,
time.
I know, but you know how weird it is just going down the road. You just see a dog that looks exactly like the one
Hey,
that you just lost.
I moved on,
Okay.
but I am very happy you got your dog back, Tim. I really am. Don't think I'm being
Uh,
like whatever. You got your
nah, it's
dog
fine.
back. But the thing is, I haven't talked to Bruce in forever, so I'm just.
Ah,
I mean, you're not that I'm
and I'm like,
saying you can't talk, but I mean, stay
it's
on
okay,
target.
man. Hey,
Stay on
Bruce.
target. How you doing, sir? How have you been?
Good. I just got back
Good.
from the doctors and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Okay. What? I have a bad feeling about our conversations as they continue into the years. We're going to have more discussions that involve. I just got back from the doctor, or I've been following the treatment advice from my doctor, and I'm not feeling like we're getting the most out of our life like we should be if we're having conversations like that.
Yeah.
That's just called getting old, man.
I'm
All the
still
doctor said
having
for me was more like get more exercise.
Oh,
my
they called you a fatty. They always call you a
Yeah.
fatty, though.
my doctor called me a fatty too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you can walk in there and be muscled up as shit, and he'll look at his your weight and be like, "You need to work out, or you need to lose
Scale,
some weight."
Yeah,
scales.
really. If I was muscular, I
And
would
you're
be
all
like,
like,
oh, that's
"I work
bullshit.
my ass off to get these gains." What do you mean lose some weight?
Lose some weight. I'm in my
That is,
best
I'll
shape of
tell
my
you,
life. If I was like that,
when I lost all the weight, I went in. My doctor was like beside himself. It was like he was so happy. I can't say it was because of me, but he was so happy that he retired. And
Fuck.
he told me you're the only patient who actually listened. Well, you said I was going to have diabetes if I didn't lose some weight, so I lost some weight because most of my last job was me treating diabetics, and I didn't care for it that much. So the
yeah.
last thing I want to be is a diabetic. There's
Hey,
Shadow. Hey,
hey,
Shadow,
Shadow.
what's up, brother?
Shadow.
Yeah, me and Shadow been hanging out eating barbecue. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but
I have.
Looks nice. I wish I could be there.
I wish you
Uh,
could too.
I wish we all could have been there for that picture. I
Yeah,
love those pictures, man.
that'd have been nice.
I'm getting beef stew tonight.
That is really good. I have no idea what I'm getting tonight.
And
I'll know when my
tomorrow,
wife tells me, and she's not
tomorrow
going to
I'll
tell
be
me for a
having
while
bacon.
because she's working.
See, last I woke up at 12 this morning and went to work. Got off work at noon today, and I had a tip from my pocket yesterday. I had a tip from a customer today, so
Mm.
I took myself at IHOP, and I first thing I did when I got in town, I grabbed the IHOP, got the double bacon, double cheese, and I know that's probably not good for diabetes or pre-diabetes, but I'll work it off because summer's
Well,
coming.
actually, the bacon and the cheese is keto.
Yeah, the bread
Mobius
is.
says he couldn't handle not being able to eat pie. And Mobius, what kind of pie are you talking about, eh? Because I mean, my mind immediately gets dirty. I can't help it. It's a sin, possibly demonic possession. But if you're going to throw a softball like that, I'm going to be like, what are you talking about, eh?
Very soft, very soft.
I
Um,
mean, are you talking about like, she's my cherry pie? You know that
they,
when they put out another song that they really liked, they tuck it into their producer and he told them no and told them they had to go make another song. So they made Cherry Pie to piss off their producer,
fuck
and
you.
it became like a massive hit. It was an accidental number one hit. and they talk about the whole video was just that hot chick leaning over like seductively all over the place. It was
That's
like
the whole video.
Yeah, it was them in a white room with some hot chick being all like hot. And they're like, okay, fur pie. Yeah.
I forget which model this is, James. Have you seen this one?
Oh, geesh. What? That's a big spider.
Yeah, I love this arachnid. I need players that are arachnophobic though.
Well,
I really want to throw one on the table and just watch them fucking go out of their gourd. I had this girl back in '94 and '95 at my table because she was my cook's daughter or stepdaughter,
right.
and she was kind of sweet on me, but she was
Did she get stuck in furniture ever?
She might as well have been. But she was like completely. She was a real sweet girl, like 100 pounds, maybe more. No, 95 pounds.
God, you need to feed her. Was
Yeah,
she Italian?
No, no. She's Germanic stock, but she had all of her own medical issues, and I'm glad we broke up later. But she was just a weird one. But she was arachnophobic, and for like 6 months, I had a gamer in my game. But I could literally go grab my tarantula out of the terrarium and put it in the middle of the table, and she'd get done like sipping a drink, and then she'd look up and see it crawling across the table, and she'd either pee herself or run out of the room. It was one of two things. And we didn't have many miniatures. We had like 3 miniatures at the time.
And one was a spider. Yeah.
I had a fucking actual real tarantula crawling across the table.
You're mean.
And, I was loving it. Then one night I stapled a picture of a spider right under her chair, or right over her chair on the ceiling. And she got pissed off at me at one point, and she looked. I
don't know, chat. I think Bruce is mean to his girlfriend anyway.
That might have been a little bit mean.
I will say this though, Bruce. I used to use the wasp killer and spray a wasp nest and then pick them all up, knock the nest down and glue them to it, and then hit them with some gloss coat, and then I would like stick them above my door. People walk up and knock and look up and see all those hornets there and be like, like, but that was, when I didn't want anybody to knock on my door. I went through a phase.
Welcome, Jehovah Witnesses. Little sign on the door instead of no solicitors.
I will tell you something, and my wife would agree with this. I know for a fact. I love when those people visit. Like when they knock on the door, if my wife answers the door or something, she always says, "Hold on," and gets me. And I am so nice to them. I offer them Kool-Aid, whatever they want. Drinks. We got a drink fridge. I'm like, "You want some Diet Coke or something?" I'm super nice. But I'm super nice while I tell them they're heretics. And like we had Jehovah's Witnesses come the other day, and I was super nice, and they were telling me stuff, and I was asking them questions, and it was a young, hot chick and like a 60-year-old dude. He's older than me by quite a bit. And she's just sitting there grinning, and he's sitting there talking. And then when he's like, "So what do you think of that?" or something. And I said, "So is it true you guys think the Archangel Michael is Christ and that the Trinity isn't real?" And he's like, "Well, we'll be going."
But wait, we just started. We just started. Please have a seat. And that's when your brother Hungar puts his hands on their shoulders and sets them down.
Yeah. We've just started. No. And I agree with you, Mobius. And yes, I got a hate response from Raven. So
why?
I guess I said something about battletech that wasn't according to the lore. And I'm just like, stop being a bitch and just come back to the channel.
Wait, which Raven? There's a dude named
Dude
Raven.
the commie.
Okay. Yeah.
And like, if you want to talk, just come back to the channel. No one hates you. You just got TDS, which is true. He's like practically an Antifa goon.
Why? We have enough trouble in the world as is, but you should learn to accept the fact we've got a fucking president for 4 years. And worse yet, if he ever has something happen to him, the guy that'll slide into his position is going to be 100 times worse. God damn it. If J.D. Vance had to go and be president because of some medical reason for Trump, and Trump was violently taken out, I bet Vance would fucking lose a lot of civility. He would not be the nice guy with all the memes, okay? He would be fucking he would be almost commissar like in his fucking dictum and what's going to happen from here on out for the remainder of this term.
He said, Bruce, he ain't running.
You know, I doubt that. I really do.
He's saying he ain't going to, and that would mean the next president will more than likely be Marco Rubio.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I could handle Rubio.
And Rubio, I used to not like when he actually worked for my state. But, buddy, this last couple of years, he grew the hell up.
Well, it does seem like it. We'll see what happens when he
starts
running.
We'll have to wait and see what actually happens. But, see, here's the thing. If I were a Democrat right now, I think I would just be embarrassed and I wouldn't tell anybody. I'd say as a libertarian.
There's a few that's like that. I mean,
because it's like, how can you proudly proclaim you're a member of a party that is just constantly getting wrecked and roasted for doing just the stupidest, most illegal shit?
I think that's Rand Paul and Thomas Massey. I think they went the libertarian route because of that.
Well, Rand Paul has always been a libertarian.
Fair on that one, I guess.
Yeah.
And Ron Paul was like the king of the libertarians back in the day.
True.
But Ron Paul sees how the wind's blowing, and he's pretty okay with if Trump will just let me have that Halligan's axe and that sledgehammer, I'll fix the federal government.
Yeah, that is a fact. If they would let him just go nuts on like the Federal Reserve, he would rip it shit. But
you thought Doge was bad? Wait till Ron Paul gets in there with the Halligan's axe.
But my deal is, and I have Democrat friends that I game with and stuff, and we don't talk about too much because we're gaming.
Yeah, what's more important?
Yeah, which in my opinion is more important. Right, you're right. It's more important to have fun and roll dice and move minis around and that than
to get into politics. It's just it's better that way.
But I'll talk about a little bit here, and it's like, I'm just telling you, I was a Democrat when I was young during Clinton.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, Clinton was stupid as shit.
Who was not a Democrat during Clinton's reign? You had fat girls giving blowjobs under the table. We had a booming economy. We had a great economy. You had a president that loved hot women.
He liked the big ones too.
He gave love to everybody.
He could play saxophone. He had that southern drawl, so when he talked, you just wanted to listen.
I'm telling you guys what. We sent Hillary off the other week to a Karl Marx or some bullshit synopsium, and she just had a ball while she's gone and having fun and palling around with a bunch of other looking like North Korea types. I was over here at the college, and there were some girls that had just came in from that Hurricane Katrina, and I made sure to hug each and every one. I feel your pain.
Now, it's sad that he's a freak, but back then we didn't know he was a freak.
We didn't know he's a freak. All we knew was that he liked banging chicks. He didn't give a shit. Big, small, I'm going to score. Have you seen my wife?
I knew he won the election when he went on Arsenio Hall.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was the minute. Like, because my parents at that time were more Republican. And of course, I was young, so I was Democrat. And as soon as we watched him go on Arsenio Hall, I told my dad, I was like, he's the next president. Just hang it up. It's over. because I mean, he just had the vibe, man. Or what do the young kids call it these days? The aura.
Aura. The aura.
Yeah,
He's
that
aura
dude was the
farming.
king of aura back in the day.
Aura farming.
I mean, but anyway,
I was always a
Um,
Republican.
now with everything going on, I would be ashamed to admit I was a Democrat.
You
I
know, I have no problem telling people my story as how I became a Republican. But the thing is that nowadays I would not want to be calling myself a Democrat. And to hear people say, like, this is the worst time in America's history, like, excuse me?
Not really, no. I could think a few times in my
This is the worst
lifetime,
time in
which was
America's
worse.
history. Point me out to the soup line, lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even my worst times aren't that bad. It's like you're going crazy on that one.
Well, the problem is like Reagan said, it's not that they don't know anything; it's that they believe too much wrong things.
Yeah.
That is, see, you need to get Max in your game.
I just
Lau?
what?
Nice.
You need to get Max Lau in your game.
Oh my God.
He's terrified of anything with more than 4 legs.
I might get him in my D100 game one of these days. I don't know.
I don't
I
mind
love
spiders.
I love that system.
I don't see
Yeah, I
what,
remember he told the story about how he was playing D&D and they got attacked by giant spider or giant ants, and like
He saw
all
an
the way
ant-
home after the game, he was freaking out.
Yeah, his head ran away with that one, and I love it. I love that story.
Yeah.
not
You
too
can
afraid
eat
of
it while diabetic. That's a fact. And if you do it right, it'll maybe you'll get dinner. And a smile. Mobius.
I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. I'll be right back.
You do that. And I can say that even as an Orthodox guy because
I'll be right back.
most things are A-okay with your wife. Most things. Not everything, but most things. You know what I mean? Like people always get in their head that if you're like a hardcore Christian, it's like missionary style and shit like that. No. Go talk to a priest. If you and your wife want to experiment with some different positions and whatever, knock yourselves out, really. Just don't let it become impure, I guess. And whatever you do, don't call her mom when you finish, because they don't like that. Tim, you got real quiet. Are you okay, Timmy? Damn, Timmy left too. He's like, fuck that.
I'll be right there.
For those of you who don't know, that's from one of Kevin Smith's old movies, like Mallrats or something. I forget. It might have been from Clerks, actually.
They just
I think
hand
it's
Mallrats
Clerks,
off.
and I think it's Randall saying he called a chick mom once in bed. And Randall is, and always has been, my favorite character in any Kevin Smith movie that he was in. I don't know why. I always thought Dante was a bitch, and I never really liked any of the other characters, including Jay and Silent Bob. But something about Randall's sarcastic kind of giving no F's about anything appealed to me. I liked his character.
Whatever. What the girl that was in the original Clerks, the
Are you
girlfriend?
talking about the one that banged the dead guy?
Yes. What happened to her?
In the TV show, she ended up in a mental hospital.
Okay.
But you only learn that if you watch the Clerk animated series.
I was always curious because I liked her as an actress. She was a good actress.
Like in real life, I don't know what happened to her. But in the TV show, her character ended up in a mental ward. So Dante never got to be with her and lost the girl that was bringing him lasagna at work. And I mean, okay, the weird question here is, and I know this is not game related, and I apologize to any underage people, but do you count what she did as part of her body count or not?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because she saw an opportunity for a stiff dick, and without affirming that it's her boyfriend, she just
No,
squats
not
right
the one in the bathroom. I'm talking
Oh.
about the one that brought the lasagna, including Dante. She'd only slept with 3 men.
Yeah, I think she bumped up her body count.
But she had given a lot of, because she
Yeah.
said there's no big deal. That is a hard, that is a quandary, my good man.
It
I'm
is.
back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Jimmy.
So, like, if you met a girl and you started dating her and you found out she was a virgin, but she had given like 30 BJs, I mean, it's like,
You're not really a virgin.
how do you round that how do you square that circle? You know what I mean?
Okay. Have you heard of this thing called soaking?
Soaking?
Soaking. Okay.
You mean like armor soaking?
No, the kids in Utah, the mountain Jews, have these kids that they're like, well, we can't have sex, but I can have you lay down naked, and I'll be inside you, and then my brother Paul from the tabernacle will come over, and he'll stand at the other end of the bed, and he'll shove the mattress down real violently, and we're not having sex. So that
Shadow, why are you avoiding even coming on the show?
this is a problem with the fucking.
If you have opinions, come on the show and
Come on,
tell us.
Shadow.
Yeah, come on,
And
Shannon.
I don't care if somebody's got a jackhammer in your freaking basement.
I haven't seen you. I mean,
I haven't seen Shadow other than like AI images and like
yeah. And
he's
Shadow
always
for like
got
a month
something
and a
going
half.
on. I'm starting
Yeah,
to take it personally.
His fire alarm was going off for a month and a half. What do you mean the jackhammer's going to interfere?
Right.
I love you, Shadow. Come on, get in here, bud.
But anyway, I think I agree with Shadow. I just think that it could be a quandary. It's like, I don't know. Because if
Shadow-
you marry her, you're marrying a virgin,
Yes.
but not really.
She's not really a virgin. She's committed the sex act a lot, just with her mouth.
Right. So I mean,
I'm sorry, it's just funny to say. She has endless throat.
I'm about over your damn excuses, Shadow. Joke. But seriously, go take a shower.
Geez, Shadow, I took a shower. I'm in here now. Come on.
Man, ain't you got two boys at your house? Why ain't they out there doing that shit? Making the old man do it. But, do what you got to do, brother.
Probably Gavin threatened him not to make his boys sweat because he needs to have his sons available to vote for Gavin. Shadow is on Gavin Newsom's favorite bullet point email, right?
Was he?
No, Shadow's going to try to kill me whenever he sees me. Bruce, I hate that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, you and every other guy that gets a hard on in the morning over in California, all of you hate fucking Gavin. You should.
Yeah.
Guys,
That's the state's national pastime anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he made it illegal for you to pay anything less than $15 or $20 an hour to fast food workers, with the only exception being any restaurant that makes bread, because his best buddy owns all the Panera Breads. He's CEO of Panera Bread. He's like, I can't do this $15 an hour. It'll kill my business. And so Gavin's like, I got you.
So anyway, yeah, giant ants every game. Like if you play post-apocalyptic, obviously giant ants. If you play fantasy, sure, some giant ants. Sci-fi, why the hell not? Giant ants. I mean, even Lovecraft, you could have giant ants because you could have like a mad scientist using the milk of Shub Niggurath to like make giant ants. You know what I mean? Since it mutates creatures. So if you play Deadlands, I mean, they're already in Deadlands.
Yeah.
So pretty much, giant ants might be one of the most efficient miniatures to buy since they can be in every setting of every game. Like even in battletech, you could have the mech warriors land on a world where there's giant ants. Maybe not as big as a mech, but big enough to threaten the actual human. Or you could get really freak mode and make it as big as the mech and be like, oh shit. You know, even though a creature that size wouldn't. Through giant ants, yeah. I had a whole thing going, Shadow, but then the players at the last minute decided instead of walking to the area they were going to, they just take a boat. And that's what I get for spending an hour and a half, you know, getting all of the encounters pre-prepared for like what would be an in-game month travel. Because I was thinking, you know, I'll pre-prepare it all so that we're not just sitting around watching me roll on encounter tables. And sure as shit, they're like, you know, we changed our mind. We're just going to take a boat. I was like, you guys are assholes, man.
Don't worry,
I had
James.
so many encounters set up, a ruined castle, an orc raiding parties, and giant ants in the valley leading into the plains of Ling, and
now it's all for naught.
Ling, and you name it. I had all these things set up for them, and they're just like, nah.
All for naught, James.
And this is the second time my group has did this. One time they got hired by a group of dwarves to help them clear an old dwarf fortress up in the mountains, the Razortooth Mountains, which is in my homebrew campaign. They got there. They found some of the dwarves dead at the gateway, like hacked to bits and full of arrows and everything. So the mage sent a magi, wizard's eye, down into the mine, and it went down to like the opening, you know, like the atrium or whatever you'd call it. And he saw like a group of 10 hobgoblins marching in formation, like on patrol. So he told the rest of the group, there's like 10 hobgoblins down there, right? Now, bear in mind, this group is all level 5 and 6. They decided, yeah, F this, let's go to town. They turned around and left. And I had already drawn and stocked out like 4 levels of a dwarven hold. There was even down at the very bottom, like a river of lava that had like a bridge that had in the center of the river was like a pillar, you know, like a stalactite, a column that had been burrowed out like a guardway, and there was bridges linking it, and there was Duergar down there, and all kinds of cool shit. And now, let's go back to town. And I was like, well, okay.
Twice as a pattern, 3 times. It's just being vindictive at that point.
Take care, Mobius, and be good, eh?
Yeah, see you, Mobius.
Be good, Mobius.
So I'm just like, all right. So then later, like much later, they're hanging out in town, and the leader of that dwarven party that had hired him runs up and challenges the dwarf in the group to a duel to the death. You know, an honor duel because, you know, the players had left them and most of his cousins were dead, and he blamed the players. And it was pretty crazy too, because in that campaign, the dwarves all speak Finnish. So I started as the DM yelling at all the players in Finnish. You know what I mean? And they had no idea what the hell was going on because the only person who spoke Dwarvish was the dwarf. So him I handed the note to. Now, I probably mispronounced that Finnish stuff, but I gave it a go. And then they got in a big fight, and the player character, I believe, got his ass whipped. but then they, managed to talk him out of killing the guy. Because, that dwarf was mad, boy. He was ready to avenge his fallen comrades for sure.
Well, James, our Monday game, it went really good. We killed off
Bruce, check this shit out. Leth is playing in like 2 or 3 of Bloodworth's games.
2 of them.
How is Bloodworth as a GM?
I mean, I got to play 1 session so far, and I think he's pretty good.
And I think Leth might actually also be in a Bubba game too.
Yeah, Bubba's my Monday game.
You know who I discovered?
Oh.
I've been watching this guy called Daddy Rolled a 1.
Oh, I've seen him once or twice.
James, I'm just going to say this. For you being a TSR aficionado, I recommend you watch a lot of his stuff because he's gone through and he goes through the old modules. He does a very thorough job. He goes through the various drama behind certain things, like the drama behind the Palace of the Silver Princess B3.
Yeah.
He talked about that pretty well in depth. He related the story from the original author of it and their discussion. And it was just fun to listen to him talk about it. I really enjoyed listening to him talk about that. And then he verified my game style, which first edition to AD&D, if you guys are traveling, it's going to take time. It's going to take time, so you can either figure out if you want to do just random encounters, or if you do a couple encounters and then fast travel like 50 miles and then have another couple encounters, have a scene in the end, etc. But he gave the reason why timekeeping is so important in first ed and how you have to train to level up and how that's important to the game.
Right.
So you have to have a constant inflow of gold or of resources so you can barter with that with your training. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck at third level.
We lost Bruce.
There
he goes.
He's back.
You'll be back. You'll be 20,000 gold away from being able to level up, and you're third level, and you've got 50,000 XP. You know that I love the first ed mentality, and he goes into that with a lot of aplomb as to why it's so important and why you should do it in your games. The only thing he goes on that I completely disagree with is 1-for-1 time.
Yeah, that's what everybody's mad at Jethro about.
I've heard this guy's name. I don't know who that guy is.
He's the king of the OSR or the king of something. I don't know. Every time I talked to him on Twitter, he was absolutely just a cool dude. Like he's an ex-cop, whatever. And the thing is, he can be very inflammatory. And he used to tell people that, AD&D is the only right way to play the game. And And the only right way to play the game is 1-1 time. And for some reason, a lot of people really got mad at him, including the RPG pundit.
I know.
And that feud actually got really nasty with like people calling people, Yahtzees and this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, Jeffro and Mercadius, and at a time, Saxius was kind of part of this giant circle I was in. And just everyone. It's kind of like you probably heard the drama that went on with John, the basic expert.
Yeah, I heard that there's some drama going on about him. What's that about?
He interviewed Jeffro on his channel. So then the usual suspects started getting pissed off. And some of them even went after Harmony Ginger because she interviewed him and actually might be a disciple of his, kind of like as far as the 1-1 play and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Which to me, I'm all like, well, good for you guys. If you're having fun and
Yeah.
everybody at the table is cool with it, knock yourself out. I don't do 1-1 time either, Shadow. I do, though, especially since I am playing Hyperborea, I do keep a calendar, print it out, and mark days off and shit. And the reason is because in Hyperborea, any given day can have a huge effect on the players. You know, like there's a point every 13 months where there's like a whole month that the sun never rises. And there's a point also within that 13 months where there's like a whole month where the sun never sets. And then there's the cycle between these two events, right?
Mhm.
So when you're playing Hyperborea, you have to keep track of the days because that's going to determine whether the sun even rises or not. And if the sun doesn't rise, then even if you're far away from the center of the continent, it's going to get cold. You know, whereas the center of the continent is always a frozen wasteland no matter what. But the glaciers from Mount Vermithon, they increase and decrease depending on the time of the year. You know,
See,
which is
I
cool.
caught
You want to go up there and hunt mammoths. Yeah, put your words together, Bruce.
that sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Hyperborea is everything I'm reading says Hyperborea is 3E. What 3E should have been. Had somebody written Advanced D&D 3rd edition, we would have gotten Hyperborea.
Had Gary Gygax rewritten it, that's kind of what you would got, yes. But here's what's wild about it. It's not based on AD&D. It's based on basic D&D.
Yeah.
And when I say basic D&D, I mean OD&D.
Yeah, like White Box, right?
Yes. But all of the innovations that he included in the game really just make it feel like a more easier to play AD&D. But really, it's the setting that makes it awesome.
Yeah, the setting is what makes it very cool, along with all the treasure, magic items, and inside jokes.
Oh, yeah. Like, you could, in theory, have your players run into Conan during a game of Hyperborea. Because maybe he got thrown through time and he's in Hyperborea looking for a way back to Hyboria. Or you could have them run into Lovecraft because all of them exist in this universe. So maybe there's like this weird tall guy that probably has that disease that causes gigantism. And, you talk to him and it turns out his name is Howard Phillip and he don't know how he got here. There's an argument that you could make that Hyperborea is part of the Dreamlands. So all of the characters that have ever existed in Lovecraft, Clark Ashton Smith, or R.E. Howard could, in fact, show up in Hyperborea. And definitely all the monsters. I mean, the other night, the main battle the group got into on Saturday is they were deep, deep underground, and they wandered into a laboratory where 4 serpent. Oh, that looks really good, Bruce. Is that a mantic?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, they make good stuff. The group ran into this big laboratory with like Tesla coils and shit in it. And there were 4 serpent men, like from Conan, in there working on alchemical stuff. So the group decided to fight. And the thing they didn't know is that a lot of the serpent men are magic users, right? So like right off the bat, one of the serpent men, they won initiative. Oh, that's cool. Some kind of underwater troll or something.
I don't know if it's like a Katoa or if it's like one of those basic D&D Kofru. No, that would have a finned lower body like a mermaid with 3 tentacles coming off it. No,
See, I've got something like that. These ones.
This came out of Bone 6.
And I decided to paint mine. And this is Shadow. Shadow's the one who told me. I decided to paint mine that aquamarine color.
I love that color. And I love that color.
With Pell.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, so I've got a whole mob of those. But anyway, yeah, like first round of initiative, they lose. 3 of them fail their saving throws versus hold person. Oh, that's cool. Nest. And then it just got worse from there.
Oh.
But then the berserker went into a berserk rage and just started whacking them. And then when they were all dead, luckily she made her saving throw. Otherwise, she would have kept going against her own group. And because that's how berserk works, if they killed the last enemy, they might just keep going. And she would have killed the rest of the group that was up. I mean, one of them had been turned into a rat. I think 1 or 2 of them were still held. But I have like 7 or 8 players at my table, so
Do you normally run with like 6 to 10 players?
Yeah.
Okay.
The biggest game I've ever ran at my house at that table right there was 12 players. And it was because my niece and her husband just popped in on game night. So I just handed them some pre-made characters and I was like, let's go. You're in. And that was a funny night because my niece shot her brother, my nephew, 3 times in a row in the back because she kept firing into combat and she kept rolling a 1. So I kept making her roll to hit a random person and it kept being Jonathan and she kept hitting him. He almost died from friendly fire. I mean, so everybody was laughing. It was funny, but
that's sad. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, these serpent men.
In Bubba's game, that seems like the most popular way to die.
Well, there really what you're supposed to do is randomize the target before the roll to attack.
But she rolled a 1, so the worst possible.
What I do is if you roll a crit fail, then I make you roll against a random target.
Which it makes sense. I'd be okay with that.
And that's just basically me being nice to the players.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty nice to the players. Like we were talking about the other day, if a player dies, I let them have another player with the same XP as the player that died.
But yeah,
and sometimes, depending on the game system you're running, that can be like a huge difference in level. Because if a player's playing a thief and they're level 6 and they die, and then they decide they want to play a paladin, they're coming back at like level 3.
Yeah.
But hey, if that's what you want to do, man, knock yourself out. You know what I mean? And vice versa. If they're level 6 paladin and they die and they decide I'm making a thief, well, they're going to have like a level 7 or 8 thief.
7 or 8.
Yeah. So, and I'm still like, yeah, don't worry about it. I got this, But last night or Saturday night's game was just endless save versus death rolls.
That's no fun. That's no fun at all.
Well, I mean, first off, serpent men do have a venomous bite.
I know.
They also make potions of poison to throw at you. And then one of them had we'll call it a wand. In effect, it was actually a pistol that shot radium. So one of the characters got a dose of radiation.
James, that'd be my cleric's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
I got the super high AC. Doesn't matter. You're going to have to save through all this. No. So
that's kind of the deal. Oh, and they got attacked by scorpions, and the scorpions poisoned, or not scorpions, centipedes that poisoned them.
Oh.
In a fantasy game, how would you educate it if somebody took like a dose from the demon core? Would you say that is radiation poisoning, which there's no radiation in a fantasy world? So would you say it's a poison? would you say that is a disease? Would you say
Well,
A
that's
dose
just?
of what?
Radiation, the demon core. If you had somebody
You
take a
remember the
dose of
demon
the
core?
demon core,
Okay. I would probably make it con damage.
Okay.
And they could probably eventually heal it, but if they stood around it long enough to catch all those all that radiation, it would just kill them. It'd be like lose X amount con every round you're standing next to this reactor. But I probably, being the nice guy I am, would allow magical healing to try to get rid of the radiation racking your body.
I would allow them to be saved if they had a regenerate spell cast by like a 17th level druid, because the demon core radiation basically stopped the regeneration effect that goes on commonly in the human body. Because when you take that radiation poisoning like that, like your cells, all of your cells in your body are going to be gone in about a month. You're going to be a totally new you. Your hair cells, your skin, your tissue, all that stuff is a constant state of renewal, breaking down, building anew, coming to its apogee, and then sliding down into disuse and then becoming dead cells. And thus the cycle continues. So for the radiation or for the effect to hit the character and for them to stay in that area and elect to stay there, I would say your character is now on a timer. Every day, there's not a die roll, but you're losing 4 con. And if you can get a regenerate spell handed to you or cast upon you, you're going to be fine. It'll take some time, but you can have it.
And if you're not standing next to the source of the radiation.
Yeah. But I was just kind of curious how you would handle that. Bless you.
Basically the same way you would, it sounds like. They lose con the longer they're near the freaking source of the radiation.
Well, I don't think they were next to it that long. The guys were in the room for what, a minute, when he finally put the screwdriver away and let it
yeah,
shut.
it wasn't long. It was like about a minute.
Well,
Probably
here's
even
the
less.
thing, though. If you catch that first dose of radiation and you have to lose some con, and you can't get that con back except by a very specific way, like you said, a regeneration spell, that's going to suck forever until you find somebody that can cast a regeneration spell.
Even heal will not cure that syndrome.
You know, I might start running it that way instead of just letting magic heal it. You know?
It's just a thought.
It's not a bad thought. It's not a bad thought.
Okay.
Yeah. What's weird is too, if you're playing like basic D&D in the world of Mystara, running into radiation is a thing because the shadow elves live underground and they worship a giant radioactive freaking artifact. But Mystara is weird anyway.
Mystara, I need to read more on that system, on that setting. I read Karmikios years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Karmikios is the land of mages, and Galantry, I forget what that place was known for. But
Karamikios is basically a fantastical version of Romania. And then near Karamikios, you have the wildlands to the north, the borderlands, and you have the Red Eagle Barony, I think, which is like a really militant asshole. And like when they decided to place a lot of the original D&D basic modules, they placed them in Mystara. So like B2 Keep on the Borderland is in Karamikios. And, you know, the Isle of Dread is actually on that world map. So,
one of my favorite modules of all time.
It's a good module if you're into like. I mean, I loved it. One of my favorite things about that module were the squirrel people, or lemur people, or flying monkey people, or whatever the hell they were.
Yeah, they were Hodozi.
And then, yeah, right, right. They like landed on the ground and busted out a banjo, started freaking singing Old Town Races or something.
There's something.
You guys,
Bubba's.
what sports are you doing?
I think Bubba's taking us through what was used as a tournament module at one point.
Good luck. I've ran a few of those tournament modules back when I've told you already, Tim, you've heard the story, but back when the history teacher was alive.
Yeah.
And I would help him run his tournament because it was very local. And those tournament modules are designed to kill the group.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
can
anything,
you beat them? Yeah, you could beat them. Just roll really, really good nonstop because
be very careful
there's
too.
a
from
lot
what
of
I hear.
shit. Huh?
Be very careful, lucky, and roll really good.
Check
Or
for
you-
traps all the time. Don't
Yep.
stick your head inside of the green demon's mouth.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know, just little stupid shit like that. You'll be fine.
Or have a DM that like severely telegraphs every move of the dungeon. Like Daddy rolled a 1 whenever he GMs for his daughter, who's now 15. But
Well, I mean, if you're just trying to play for fun, whatever. But in tourneys, you judge them by how many lived, how far they got, which monsters they defeated. It's like there's a whole list.
Yeah.
And everyone gets like an hour and a half or 2 hours, I forget. But so you run a group through, and while I was doing it at one table, there were other tables with other groups. And then like when all the groups that signed up for it go through, you tally up all the points and determine who won. So yes, you can win at D&D, but only if you're playing an old school
Tournament game.
game. And then they would get prizes, and they would get like gift certificates to the local comic shop and stuff. And
Now,
you know, it was a lot of fun for me.
Bruce
And
Jane.
then he always called me in to help him judge the miniature painting competitions.
The good
Which
news
was-
about this is that we
What?
did get some cool things from our last adventure. The last dungeon we went through, we got like a clockwork centipede, a flying carpet. Me personally got like a platinum armband.
Nice.
nice.
Our elf got a +1 shield.
Nice.
And
Yeah, the players in my group found 12 potions.
Yeah.
And most of them are not good. So, because they rampaged through the lab looking for what the serpent men had been working on. And the serpent men in Hyperborea, much like in the Conan universe, they pretty much spend all their time trying to figure out a way to kill all of humanity. You know,
Well, and
because they really hate humans and actually mammals, just mammals.
And in
So-
Highfell, we might actually have a base. We might be able to get a base soon in Highfell.
There you
Because one thing we got was this beret that was apparently one of the wizards in his to get into that tower was you need that beret.
go.
So it would be a locked room, locked base for us that we can only get into.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. My guys. Okay, a little bit of the lore. There's a lot of evidence supporting the idea that when the Green Death hit 1,000 years ago and wiped out 90% of humanity, that it was something the lizard men unleashed, or
Yeah.
the serpent people. And unfortunately for the serpent people, the 10% of humans that survived are now immune to it. So they're trying to cook up another plague or something to get rid of humans. And they're a bunch of Set worshippers, even though some of them refer to Set as Yig, the father of serpents.
Yeah.
but they also call set or APAP.
And the last
So-
thing we did in our yesterday's session, we
Yeah.
fought bears, and I almost died to those. I got pretty close to being
Fighting
really deadly
bears
injured on that.
used to be a meme when I used to play MMOs a lot.
Yeah,
Because no matter what MMO you're playing, you will at some point have to fight bears.
yeah.
And it's like, why am I out here in the woods fighting bears?
Bears, because that's the quest. You got to do it.
When I played Dark Age of
Hey.
Camelot, they even had a song, and I'm sure some of you old timers heard it. It was the Mushroom song, the Badger song.
Yes.
You know, Badger, 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 Mushroom. Well, that was because in Hyperborea, which was the realm I played in, you were always having to fight badgers, and there
Hey.
were mushrooms every damn where, but there were no snakes.
But hey, James, we did get a couple of bear pelts out of killing those bears.
You got some bear steaks.
Bear pelts.
Oh, I was going to say, you don't want to eat a bear steak, man. That's tough and gamey.
Yeah,
If you're going to eat bear, you want to grind it up like hamburger
yeah.
and then use it in a recipe that has like strong spice. So like chili, something like that.
You have chili, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Again, I said we got bear pelts, a couple of them. Out
Right.
of the 3 bears that we killed.
I would not want to eat bear because I've seen one, I've cut one. I just know that it's tough as shit. And even with the blessed crock pot that I bought today, I got an 8.5 quart crock pot.
Nice.
Yeah, well, $40 at the local HEB. So I'm really happy. But that is even if I slow cook it, it's still going to be tough. Like you're going to be chewing a long time. Like
Right.
you said, put it in chili. That bear meat, grind it up, put it in chili. It'll be great.
Right.
But anything that's a wild animal, I don't want steak. I don't want to roast. I'm good.
See, venison, if you take the back strap, is good, but the rest of it, you need to like put in a stew or something like that. Otherwise, it can be gamey, it can be a little tough. And then some of it, you just straight up turn into sausage. But the problem with venison and sausages, the venison's so lean, you have to add pork fat to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll have sausage that won't stick together. It'll just crumble all over the place.
Just come apart.
But, yeah. I know a little bit about venison. Since it was probably the primary meat I ate for like 5 years.
Have you
What?
ever spent time in Wisconsin, James?
I have never spent time in the north at all, excepting Queens, New York. And a small town in upstate New York called Salisbury or something.
Salisbury, Schenectady, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere way up in the mountains.
Sounds more like
And only because my pop's family is from that region. Half of it is from Queens, and the other half is from upstate. But I guess if you count driving through Pennsylvania and Ohio and New Jersey and shit like that.
I'm talking about staying over in Ohio east for me is Eastern Seaboard. Cleveland on to the west along I-90 to North Dakota, I consider that to be all just the north. And
I've been to Cincinnati,
okay,
but it's right across the bridge from
Louisville,
Lexington.
ain't it? How far from Louisville?
Lexington.
Yeah.
It's Lexington, and it's literally across the
Yeah.
bridge. And I had to go there and pick up a car once that my uncle bought.
I visited my brother.
You're in Cincinnati when there's Skyline Chili's all over the frickin' place.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay, these idiots put sugar in their spaghetti sauce and dump it on pasta, or their chili. They put sugar in chili and then dump it on pasta. It's like, get
I
out.
don't know why they do that. I'm not I'm not into it.
Now, I had a restaurant down here I loved, and it closed. And ever since it closed, the only way I can get my favorite Italian dish is to make it myself. And it's never quite as good. And my favorite Italian dish is penne pasta rustica, which is hot Italian sausage in a bolognese with cherry peppers and all the other peppers and onions and black olives. And then just serve, you bake it over the penne pasta, and you put a little cheese on it. Little like Parmigiano Reggiano or something, just a little bit there. But no Italian restaurant anywhere near me even has any idea what that is.
Because
And I'll be like,
you're
what?
in Florida. Give it 10 years. Give it 10 years. The Italians spill over out of Ocala into Orlando. And if you're still there in 10 years, then you're going to see a bunch more authentic Italian restaurants open up, because Ocala has a ton of Northern Italians that came out of the boroughs to come live in your blessed paradise of Florida. And Ocala welcomed them with open arms, with retirement homes and communities. And all they're doing is bringing their families down, and everybody's settling outside, like in Punta Gorda and other places in Florida close by, to watch their grandparents die of old age. And eventually they're going to be like, hey, Orlando has jobs in media, and they're going to start spilling over to your town.
Well, I hope. I mean, hopefully their grandparents didn't sell out all their property up north and move to the villages.
A lot of them sold all their property to live in Ocala and Punta Gorda. The villages.
Yeah, the villages are up in Ocala, I think.
Really?
In that
Are
area.
you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of these people with fake tits and false teeth that I see on the police reports, all of those people are a bunch of guineas and doggos. Are you kidding me?
Well, dude, you drive through the villages and you'll see these guys cruising around. The golf cart is made to look like a Rolls Royce. They're wearing the shirt unbuttoned down to their belly button.
Tell me they're in
with this
tracksuits.
big gold chain with a freaking medallion of like the Theotokos. But you can barely see it because their chest hair. They look like grizzly bears or Sicilians. And, they got their hat back, handful of rings, like a badass set of glasses. That's the villages, and they're all swingers, every one of them.
Yeah, if you're an allergy doctor and you're out of work, you move to San Antonio. If you're a STD doctor, you move to the villages.
Well, as I've heard someone say before when I was on the job, they didn't care about having the STD they had because they were 77, and they're going to die before that disease got.
I'm going to outlive.
So they're just like, who cares? Oh, I've got herpes at 75. Okay. And I just sat there, and when I heard that, I just looked at my partner and I said, hear me out. He's got a point. It's like once you hit a certain age, it's like, who cares? Just do what you do.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, Giuseppe. Yeah. You're fucking up the curve.
Hey, I gotta go. I'll see ya.
Good
See
to
ya.
you, Tim.
Start talking about STDs and Leth gets all weirded out. But then, it's wild, man. And so they have key parties in the whole 9 yards, and you can look online and it will say, the highest concentration of STDs, the villages in Florida. I mean, those cats up there, they got it all. They got everything you don't want. And, but they're happy. They're riding around in their freaking tricked out golf carts, having key parties, just living their life before they die the way they want. And it's like, not what I would have chosen, but who am I to judge? You know, I mean, obviously it's a sin to be a swinger, but if that's what you and your wife want to do, it's not like I'm going to run up on you like I'm some kind of Sharia police and start trying to beat you with a freaking cane.
Sharia police of Brooklyn have me worried because Brooklyn used to be nothing but Italians and Jews and a little bit of Irish. And now you got the sand people up there and they have their Sharia patrols and they're like, if they want to stay in their own little like blocks and take care of their little kids and the girls and the hijabis and the cabs, if they want to just make sure they stay on their playground and not venture off that boulevard, I'd be okay with it. But if they're harassing everybody else saying you can't eat bacon while we're having Ramadan, man, my entire family, if they were still in their 60s and younger, there would be a hell of a scrap going on in Brooklyn. I can only say that.
Well, I can tell you this. When I went to Queens with my pops, it wasn't the Queens my pops grew up in. You know, when my pops grew up in that area of Queens near like Sutton Place, Napier Hill on Jewel Street,
Okay.
everyone in the neighborhood was Russian Jew. And now there was actually, it was still pretty nice. There were a lot of Koreans and stuff. And, you know, and for whatever reason, if you have a lot of East Asians move into a neighborhood, it generally stays good.
Yeah.
You know, like if some Koreans or some Japanese people move in, nobody bitches. I mean, you know, they do their own thing and integrate and whatever. Like down here, we got a shit ton of Vietnamese. And it's like you wouldn't even know because you see the guy, he talks English better than I do. And he's got a job, you know, usually nail salon or massage or whatever it is they do. Because they dominate the nail salon thing, right?
They
And they are just good people. They work hard. They don't mess with nobody. You know, they love America and they're that way. But then these guys that are like, the thing that people don't understand is things happen with a purpose. And when the certain groups insist on praying in the middle of Times Square, it's not actually about prayer.
No.
Because they can pray anywhere.
Yep.
They do it in Times Square because it's the demoralizing thing. They want you to know that they own your ass.
Yeah.
And they can do whatever they want. So it's more like a triumphalism thing. You see what I mean? They're wanting you to know they have triumphed over your civilization. So now you have to put up with them. They tried that shit in Japan, but the Japanese are just like, yeah, you're all going. Bye. So, you know, like the Japanese outlawed the way they can be buried. And, they're outlawing their building of mosques. And
They basically said, you know, if you want to be buried, you have to go take your corpse back to your homeland. We don't have the space.
Because the Japanese believe burying dead flesh in the ground
Yeah,
is
we're
like
not doing that.
next to like, yeah, they believe that it's like the same thing as dumping a biohazard. Hey, Sacha, what's up, homie? How you doing? Sacha, are a lot of the ladies in your country like really emotional and they cry a lot? There's a reason I'm asking this.
Where's he from?
Finland.
You know, I've never known a Finnish girl or even a Norwegian girl to be all emotional in that aspect. They get excited if you give them like good chocolate or.
I watched this Finnish girl that reacts. I was watching actually young black dudes reacting to metal because it's fun when like a young black dude hears like Ram Jam for the first time or Iron Maiden or something. And I like watching them be like, holy shit, this is good, right? It makes me feel good because I feel like now we're getting it. We're congregating together, brothers. We're loving it.
Getting
right?
back to 1989, hell yeah.
But there's this Finnish lady that came up in a rotation, and it's like that is a wicked looking spider. It looks like it has a skull for a face. I don't like that.
It does. I don't know about that carapace. a friend of mine uses this for one of his, not a cohort, but a mount.
That's a Shelob looking thing.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
But yeah, like half the stuff she watches, if it's even a little bit sad, she just straight up will cry.
You know what's
She cried listening to The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. And she's like, all of those men died. And then when it says, and all that remains are the faces and names of the wives and the sons and the daughters, and she's breaking up, you know, and I'm like, it just made me wonder, are they, I mean, I'll be honest, Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, that is a sad freaking.
That's a horrible tune.
song.
I mean, it's a horrendous.
I love the song, but I mean, it's a true life story of a big ass American freighter going under in the Great Lakes, and all men lost with the vessel. You
Like,
know?
at what point when you're underway and you realize there's something wrong with your ship and you don't try to call for help, does the word neglect come into play? Because
They called.
what
They called.
they called? Okay,
The captain called.
yeah,
And there was no neglect. The ship was in perfect operating shape with an excellent crew of sailors, well seasoned. But then there's a thing on Lake Superior called the Witch of November, which is a north wind hurricane.
yes,
And they got caught in that, and they had zero visibility. And eventually it swamped the deck, busted in a hold, and no one knows if it capsized or broke in half. I think now they found it and they said it broke in half.
it broke in half. The reason why
And they just, I mean, this thing was carrying like hundreds of thousands of tons of
iron
iron ore.
ore.
So when it broke, it just went down.
Yeah.
Boom.
There's no state.
And the lake where it went down was deep. And I mean, you would die of hypothermia anyway.
Well, from what I know of those iron ore tankers, is that you have a fastener for every so many feet for these gigantic doors that they have to lift up and let the iron ore in. If that's not fastened properly, then it's not watertight. And if the Witch of November is a thing, that's the first time I've actually heard of it being like a north wind style hurricane. Then that would definitely
Remember the very first few lines of the song?
yes.
The legend goes on from the Chippewa on down about the big, and the lake, it is said, never gives up its dead
Correct.
when the Witch of November comes calling. Yeah, that is just, I mean, because Lake Superior is so big, it has its own weather effect.
Yes,
And in November, they have hurricanes, just straight up storms like a hurricane that rip through the, and it's already November, so it's colder than shit. So, I mean, we've got the song thanks to the beloved national treasure of Canada, Gordon Lightfoot. But the reality here is lots of ships have went down when the Witch of November came calling. It's just a thing. Even the Indians, way before a white man stepped foot on the shore, knew there's a period there where you want to be real careful. Now, me, if I were the captain, I would have tried to turn that bitch into wherever I thought land was closest. And if I had to, just run it aground.
yeah.
Which would have cost you your job, because the people who owned that thing would have said, yeah, you're
You're
done.
done.
You've been fine.
You're done. You're
But at least you and the men would have
you're
lived.
alive.
But, and he called in, and the hatchway, it was one of the big hatchways on the top that they load the ore in. And Bruce, I don't know if back then they built the compartments, but the waves were hitting that ship so hard that it caved in one of the main hatchways on the deck, at which point water just started flooding in. And then, as we know, the ship broke in half and went down.
Yeah,
So it absolutely was not the crew's fault.
I
It was
didn't
just-
say the crew. Oh, it's There's something there.
It's kind of like those assholes in that one movie that went out like tuna fishing, and got whacked by two freaking storms, and after the fact that they went out is the only thing we know is
The
true.
perfect storm.
Right. But because that's all we know is actually true. The movie is a lie from the point they go out to the end because we don't know.
We have no idea. We're just
But
spitballing.
you were a sailor, man. You know, the sea is a bitch.
Yeah, you have rough seas, and suddenly, like your livelihood is at stake because you're probably in danger. If you do not keep the ship righted, then your everything is gone. Your entire
Hey, Dean. Yeah, you were on a smaller ship, so when you got caught by a storm, I bet you felt it.
There was the frigate that I was on. We were seeing 20-foot waves at the forecastle. We turned directly into it, and when you're seeing these 20-foot waves, there's like a 40-foot difference between the apogee of the wave and the valley, and so you're just seeing solid water, and you're riding the ship, and you're feeling it do this into each successive wave. And
See, I'd poop myself.
what?
I'd probably poop myself.
I wasn't feeling that great, and I was doing kitchen duty at the time, so I was like being encased in the mess. And worse yet, when we're hitting that, all of the glassware is falling out of the shelves and shattering on the surfaces that I have to have my hands on. And so we're trying to sweep up everything, and you're cutting yourself on the glass, you're cutting yourself trying to sweep things up, and it's just like, God damn it, this sucks. I hated that.
Currently looking into Harn. Sacha, if you ever get a chance to chat with Squirrel Hermit, you want to do that.
Please do that.
Squirrel Hermit is our resident Harn guy. He loves
Harn.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, will I jump out of the back of a Bradley with, under fire? Yes. Yeah. Will I want to be on a little boat in the ocean? Fuck that. No. That's why I joined the Army.
The frigate.
Because I'm thinking if I get shot and killed, well, okay, that's cool. But I'm not getting ate by no shark.
The frigate could handle those waves. The mine countermeasure ship I was on could not. And I'll tell you something. There was a guy on Pepperbox. He just put up a thing about the littoral combat ships. Those things aren't even that seaworthy because there's a lot of them that are being put into shallow areas where the weather doesn't get that bad because they can't handle the 45 or 44 top knot speed. The aluminum hulls are coming apart. They're not seaworthy. Their max speed 7 knots. Why?
I have heard.
Why in the fuck do we have those things?
Because America coming through to save the day. Yeah. I'll tell you this, Bruce. I didn't know that an aircraft carrier could do like 40 knots. Which, for those of you who don't know, 40 knots for a ship is pretty fast.
Yeah, it's like 65 mile per hour, 70 mile per hour.
That's pretty damn fast. And it turns out that like that one they were sending over to the Gulf now, that thing can do like 37 knots underway.
And that's pretty impressive.
So the idea that it's an easy, because people say, oh, the aircraft carrier is over. There's so many things that can get it. It's like, that thing can move.
It's actually fairly well insulated because there's at least 1 or 2 attack subs that are floating with it underwater somewhere. There's a
you got some Los Angeleses hanging out.
You got the LAs hanging out there. You've got maybe like between 15.
Well, they defend in depth. You've got like frigates and cruisers and missile cruisers.
They go in as a pack.
Yeah.
And people are fucking up thinking like, oh, that's just an easy target. Is that aircraft carrier? Good luck getting through the destroyers, the Oliver Hazard Perry class, the Aegis class.
The EWAC that is constantly patrolling.
Yeah.
It's like they have those radar planes and they're constantly sending them around, checking shit out. It's getting ready to storm.
I have to respond to that person on Discord real quick.
All right. You do your thing. Yeah. Yeah, but guys, what this one guy who I guess knows a lot about this sort of stuff was saying is people think that the aircraft carrier would be an easy target. But even if you take away the fact that it's so well protected, like super well protected, if your missile isn't like a really good high end, guided type missile, by the time it gets to wherever that carrier is, that carrier's gone. Because it can just straight up and buck out, be like, deuces. And they can pull pretty sharp. Like I saw the film he was showing of one of those giant carriers pulling a steep freaking turn. I mean, that thing was laying like almost sideways, but it was whipping, man. So anyway, there's a reason our Navy pretty much embarrasses the whole rest of the world. Any other country that thinks that they've got anything that we need to worry about on the ocean, they're deluding themselves. Now, Army wise, there might be better equipment and stuff out there. Like the Swedes and those guys, they got some decent equipment and stuff, but Navy, forget about it. And that all goes back to Thomas Jefferson. I think it was Thomas Jefferson. I could be wrong. But he got pissed off at the Berbers constantly attacking shit. And he's like, all right, fine. We're going to make a Navy, and it's going to be the most powerful Navy ever. And we're going to crush people's asses with it nonstop from here on out. And that's kind of just been our deal. Those kind of big machines, they fascinate me anyway. You figure how many millions of parts has to be in an aircraft carrier? I mean, people are always going off about, like, let's say the pyramids, right? Oh, the pyramids, so awesome. The pyramids. I can't believe they built the pyramids. And I'm all like, look at a fucking aircraft carrier. Excuse my language. Like, yeah, the pyramids are interesting and shit.
Before it rains too hard, I'm gonna run to the. This is for Alicia. These are her brownies.
Okay.
So if she comes to the door, let her in and give her her brownies.
Okay.
I will be back in 5 minutes, but
Okay.
I'm gonna take him.
Okay. You know what you're doing.
Well, baby, somebody's
We
gotta
went
be-
yesterday.
Somebody's got to be here for Alicia.
Yeah. Anywho,
I
don't to the store without me.
I honestly feel like they're going into a bad. They know they're going into a bad swell. They know they're going into bad weather. Like, I don't know if the captain, if he just didn't do like an extra weather deck check, which that would be like you send your men out on the weather decks, just to make sure everything's tightened down one last time, because it's going to be raining by the time you do that. It's already raining, but the guys are going to enjoy it, but they have to go and physically fucking test every fucking fitting that they've got just to make sure that like nothing's loose. And of course, this is after the fact, and I'm speaking from perspective.
Well, when was the because that's what I'm saying. Maybe they just didn't do things the same way back then.
You're familiar with it.
It's like in the 60s, wasn't it?
75.
Okay.
So every
Well, apparently, according to the song anyway, the weather was okay, but then when the night came, all of a sudden they heard the wind in the wires, right?
Yeah.
And that's when they started thinking, okay, what the fuck?
Yeah. I have to look at the timeline and see how it worked.
And then they got banged. Just boom.
It was over the course of just like one evening where it all happened at once, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the middle of the night. Storm hit. They fought their asses off. They were 15 miles from the bay, and it just went the way it went.
And that sucks.
And it does. But you know what? I was watching this thing about World War II. You know how many Fletchers got lost in the Pacific on their way to the war?
A lot.
A lot. They'd be selling across from like San Francisco or wherever they were built to try to go join the Navy in the Pacific to fight the war. And some of them would just get hit by a storm and gone.
I think Ching Li was the guy that was he was the one stamping everything. And
The sniper.
when he discovered that ship radar was possible, he made it to where all the Navy ships had to have radar. And the
Right.
engineers were like, no, there's no way we could have that. And he's like, urgent, figure it out.
Yeah.
And Ching Li,
The guy the Army said didn't have good enough eyesight to join the Army, even though he had won like marksmanship contests and shit. So they put him in the Navy, and he teaches the Navy gunners how to snipe with the guns. I mean, what a guy. They just let him run amok for a while, and he just kicked everyone's ass.
stand aside. I'm coming through. I'm Ching Li.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
and of course, the Marines got Chesty.
yeah,
Good night, Chesty, wherever you are.
I don't even think his name was Ching Li at the time. I think at the time they were using the word chink because Ching was
Yeah, they were calling him Chink because he had squinty
he had
eyes.
squinty eyes,
But his last name was Lee.
and his last name was Lee, but he was also a big weeaboo, as we would call it today.
Right.
He loved Oriental culture.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, I'm not saying I like sit around watching freaking weeb ass TV like my brother, but I'm a huge respecter of Japanese, Korean, all of that culture. See, I'm a weeb in this way. I have on VHS like all of the old Jackie Chan movies. I'm talking when he is like 18 and he is doing Snake and Crane Kung Fu and Fearless Hyena 1, 2, and 9. And like before he even did Super Cop, he was doing all these crazy, he was like, I don't know, 18 maybe. And I used to watch that shit nonstop. Sometimes Bolo Young was in them and, and it was just like the best. And it was always like the bad guy was always this like really old silver haired dude with a wispy mustache and like his head done up in like a bun on the top, and he'd show up and just, start killing people. And then Jackie Chan had to hide with his uncle, and his uncle would torture him for like half the movie. And then by the end of it, Jackie Chan would be a master of whatever Kung Fu it was.
I love those old Jackie Chan films, but I actually just watched the other day the Shaolin, the 6 Chambers of Shaolin, I think is what it was called.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's a classic.
That is so good.
Tiger style. Yeah. It was so good that it's mentioned in freaking Wu-Tang.
Yes.
Because the Wu-Tang Clan ain't none to F with. They're from the mountains of Shaolin. And they mentioned specifically the 6 Chambers of Shaolin in at least one song.
Yes.
It was like, so those guys, they did like the Kung Fu movies. And who could blame them? I mean, I remember there was a time when I was very young that Saturday at like 11 o'clock was Kung Fu Theater. And it'd be like 2 hours of like the cheapest, corniest Kung Fu movies you can imagine. And I was there every time, just watching this crazy ass shit. So how you doing today, Dean? Are you feeling all right?
I haven't spoke to Dean Powell in forever.
He was on a couple weeks ago. We had a pretty good time.
Yeah, but I've been kind of absent, and I apologize.
Hey, no, you have nothing to apologize for, man. Sometimes life just sneaks up and kicks you in the nuts.
Yeah.
And you through it, though. You got stuff going, so it's all good. All good in the hood. Yeah, you hear that thunder? That's right. Number 1 for shark attacks. Number 1 for people getting hit by lightning. Florida. We're not number one for shark attack fatalities, though. I think that's Australia. But we are number one for the actual volume of shark attacks. CCP or the Wu-Tang Clan? I don't know who CCP is. I hope you weren't trying to say ICP, because I'm pretty sure the Wu-Tang Clan would whip their ass. I mean, those guys don't even believe in magnets. All right, Henlo. Oh, look at this.
What's going on?
We got a Dane invading.
Hey, I had time, so I figured I'd jump on.
Dean Bell, how you doing,
Well,
sir?
I'm glad you did, Dean. I always tell you, you're always welcome.
And
I mean, just hit the link. It's not a big deal. I didn't even, but for some reason, it didn't flash up there and say you were wanting in.
I mean, I have been called a
That's
stealth
why-
pastry before, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. But hello to you too, friend.
Yeah. And the CCP, Chinese Communist Party.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, I think Wu-Tang would
Yeah.
win. I mean, it depends. Are we talking about popularity? Because Wu-Tang Clan's way more popular.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But yeah,
you know.
speaking of the insane clown posse, I actually have an interesting question concerning them
Yeah.
versus someone else. So, who is more wealthy between insane clown posse's cult and Eminem's money? Who has more wealth and power?
I don't know. I mean, Clown Posse bought a bunch of real estate. So that's pretty smart of them. They bought like a whole damn lake with an island in it and all kinds of shit. And apparently the big guy in Clown Posse banged Eminem's ex.
Yeah, they don't have a good history.
So that's also got to be taken into account.
Yeah.
You know, your wife banged this goofy bastard. But Eminem is quite possibly the greatest rapper of all time, regardless of color. Even a lot of black dudes that are legit will tell you Eminem smokes everyone's
Yeah.
ass. But come in. My wife probably locked the door. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh, she got it. Never mind. So there is that. I mean, there's no doubt Eminem is like, he's got money.
Yeah.
That dude has got all the money he ever would need. But a lot of the reason they didn't like each other and don't like each other has to do with their both groups are from Detroit. So apparently they didn't like each other even before, whatever.
Yeah, I
know?
do. Well, I don't remember experience because I'm not that old. But I do have seen videos on YouTube and so forth, like interviews from back then. And yeah, I think they only.
If I were Eminem, though, I would watch out for the Juggalos. Because ICP is like a cult.
Oh yeah, that's also where the joke is. Like, who's actually more wealthy, the guy with the money or the guys with the cult?
Yeah, I mean, because when they do their Dark Carnival bullshit, and it's basically like a giant freaking, let's all get together and like have all these different weird bands and whatever. I mean, in a way, even though I don't care for their music, except to mock them over the magnet thing, I kind of respect the fact that they can throw these things together. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And they've had like famous rappers there and like all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, they're definitely doing something. Whereas Eminem, he's just basically hanging out with Dr. Dre and raising his kid, which is good. He might be the only man from Detroit who does raise their kid.
I think that's the case.
Yeah. So I mean, I respect him for that, and yeah, he's probably the best rapper
Yeah.
ever.
I will say though, I know why he's wearing the beard because he looks very young. But I still don't think the beard
That
fits
guy's
him.
older than I am.
Oh, I know.
It's nuts. The first time I found out he's like 56 or some shit, I was like, what?
He is in the category. So when are you gonna grow old? When is the wrinkles gonna appear?
Look, I don't know what his like facial routine is in the morning. Like maybe he's doing some shit like the dude from American Psycho. He wakes up every morning and does his freaking moisturizers and his freaking, exfoliations and stuff. But you are right. That dude does not look like he's aged in
No.
20 years.
I have a more fun what you call a counter example. Do you remember Blink 182?
I remember they come out with a song that was popular like in the 2000s.
Okay, like all the small things.
That was the
Yeah.
one.
So
Yeah.
first off, do you want to guess how old the main singer is?
Sure. How old is he?
How old do you think he is?
Oh, see, now you got me wanting to say he's really old because that would make more sense for a bet. 60.
Oh dear. No, I'm pretty sure he only like turned 50 here recently, like this year or last year.
50?
Yeah.
So he was young even back then.
He was in his early 20s.
Oh, there we go. Mark Hoppus, he is 54 and yeah, he hasn't
He's
aged
my
well.
age, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not the age, it's the mileage.
You know who aged well? Chuck Norris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty much a badass right up until he dropped dead, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was. He was doing his 40s.
He never
right.
went through that whole 10 or years of like being bedridden or sick, or he was like, I can beat your ass. Now I'm dead.
Yeah.
Like, way to go out,
Yeah,
brother.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
People forget that unlike someone like what's that guy called who does Aikido? The guy who's always paying some kind of cooking his
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
Steven Seagal, like yes, Steven Seagal does Aikido, but Chuck Norris has done full contact karate in different styles and professionally, and also like kickboxing professionally.
Well, yeah, like Bruce Lee never would actually fight Chuck Norris on film.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him because not to take away from Bruce Lee, who was a masterful kung fu movie star,
Yeah.
but Chuck Norris was like a foot and a half taller and 100 pounds heavier,
Yeah.
and literally was breaking fools, full contact in the ring, you know?
Yeah, no.
And all you would need is Chuck Norris to get one hit, and that's good. That'd be the end of that shit.
That
you know?
reminds me. Go ahead.
There was a guy that would carry Bruce Lee around like a little baby on set, and he was the Brad Pitt character in the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because he was a judo badass, and he would grab Bruce Lee when Bruce Lee would start acting like he knew more than the director, and he would pretty much just humiliate him by just like grabbing him and putting him in a cradle and then walking him around the set and do that. And then later, before he died, he was Ronda Rousey's judoka trainer.
Well, judo, first off, judo and jujitsu,
Yeah.
in a one-on-one, there's not much out there to deal with that.
No.
My uncle won national championship down here in Florida in jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And that's kind of just the way it is. Of course, that's 10 years ago. You can look it up, though. I'll give you his name. But in a one-on-one, these jiu-jitsu guys, they just get you on the ground and they make you tap out.
Yes.
They'll start bending shit that should not bend.
Yes.
And you slap out, That's why when you look at Ultimate Fight competition, they train for standing, but they train for the ground game. Because if you're not good at the ground game, The second you run into a judo guy, a jiu-jitsu guy, or a sambo guy, which is the Russian martial art that's basically a copy of judo, they're going to get you on the ground and dislocate some shit.
But it's also
That's why I got Tank Abbott.
but it's also fun.
He was a good fighter. I mean, that guy could brawl. He knocked people out. But then you run into a guy that can weather that first hit and get you on the ground, you're done.
But it's also fun seeing what do you call it, actual strikers who have been trained to counter grapplers and submission people, and then just not
Right.
allowing them to get on the floor and give them some nasty kicks or punches.
Well, that's what you have to
Yeah.
do. If you want to be successful, you have to be able to deal with the floor. Because most of the guys you get in a ring with, they're going to try and take you
They're
down.
going to
Yeah.
take them forward. That's where the fights are at.
That's how it's going to work. It's been that way since UFC #1, or Ultimate Fight #1, when Hoist Gracie, I don't know if you remember the name, Hoist
Very
Gracie,
well.
but he won like the first 6 or 7 of those. And he was a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah.
guy. And he would go in the ring. They didn't even have weight limits back then.
No,
This skinny little fuck would get in the ring with like a 300-pound dude and just wreck him. And people were just like, because Americans had never even heard of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at that point, really. They just didn't know what it was. And he'd just wrap you up, get you on the ground, and start bending stuff until you slapped out. Because, you know,
that was the only escape you had if you didn't know how to.
yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
You can tap the ring or get your shoulder dislocated. That's kind of the deal you're making right there.
Yeah, there was some funny things, what do you call it, about the UFC one, but who they allowed in. But otherwise, this was a great show.
Well, he beat Dan Severn, and then Dan Severn went on to beat the shit out like everybody else. But Dan Severn had a little bit of at least he had a little bit of a thing with Hoist Gracie, because Severn was like a master of Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yeah.
And actual real deal Greco-Roman wrestling is no bullshit.
Yeah.
Like back in those days when they used to do that shit, like in ancient times, they would kill their opponents.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that you know, people see Greco-Roman wrestling and they think a high school kid in a fucking,
Seems like
unitard effing around. It's not like that for real. It's like Taekwondo. There's strip mall Taekwondo, and then there's the actual Taekwondo that the Koreans teach their special forces.
Oh yeah, I have.
They're both Taekwondo, but one of them will kill you.
Oh yeah, I have tried. I have tried to prepare for full contact taekwondo, and it wasn't for me.
Yeah, in America, most of the Taekwondo guys you see walk around with their black belts are strip mall Taekwondo guys. And it's great exercise, and it's good for a kid, and it teaches them discipline. And I would recommend it every day of the week. But if they run into some dude that's a black belt in like Okinawan karate or some shit like that, they are going to get wrapped. For real. The hardest hitters in martial arts are Okinawan karate. That front punch can break your solar plexus. That if you're talking about an actual guy that knows what he's doing. It's no joke. It's just a very linear art. The whole point is to just step up and break some shit. I studied American Kempo for a few years.
What's that?
That's a good question. Because if you ask 10 people what American Kempo is, you'll get 12 answers.
Kempo. I still don't know what it is, but I thought you said himbo.
Kimpo.
No,
Kimpo is the art of striking. That's what it's about. It's just literally like what sword fighting is based off of.
I would call American style Kempo organized street fighting.
Yeah.
There's no flair. You don't kick anything above the knee. There's no high kicks. And it uses a lot of knees, elbows, and headbutts. So, yeah, it's just organized, dirty fighting. And the whole point of it is if somebody jumps your ass, take them out as quick as possible and then move on with your day.
Yeah.
That's it.
That kind of reminds me, USC one would
It's from
also have been
Hawaii.
very fun to watch if they actually did invite cat can wrestlers to it.
Yeah, Kimpo's from Hawaii, and the legend I heard, which could be a legend, is like an Okinawan karate guy and a animal style kung fu guy got together and decided to create their own martial art by only taking the moves that they knew for a fact worked.
Yeah.
In a street fight, not in the ring. So one thing you will never see in like UFC or tournaments and shit is Kimpo
Yeah.
fighters, because 90% of the moves of that art are illegal in any tournament. Because jamming your thumb into somebody's eye is just right out.
Not even that, just like not so much breaking bones and limbs, but like tearing
Grabbing
muscles is
somebody
not
by
good
their
either.
testicles and trying to twist them off.
Yeah.
That's a Kimpo move. It's called monkey going to the mountain. And poking someone's eyes out is called the eagle claw. Because they gave all the moves like these really frilly like names, like the cat's punch and this and that. But no, eagle's claw, you are literally just trying to claw your opponent's eyes out. Monkey goes to the mountain, you're trying to pull his testicles out. And the cat's punch, you're trying to punch somebody in the throat. And you hold your hands like that, so that when you hit the throat, you deliver the most kinetic energy over the smallest.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of what you call it, throat punches. Because it's like, man, if I don't really want to kill that person, I'm kind of screwed.
Well, and then the tour de force for Kimpo is the trapped elbow. And in theory, if you're a big enough, strong enough dude, and you do it right, you'll kill your opponent. You'll break them at the C1, C2, and they're dead. And the trapped elbow is you're standing there, they throw a punch, you throw up, right? You step to the side, throw up, grab them by the head, and come in with the elbow on the chin as hard as you can. And in theory, yeah, it'll snap the top of their spine, the cervical spine.
Yeah.
It could if you're strong enough. Either way, the fight is over.
Yeah.
You land a trapped elbow on somebody, the fight's over. That's just it. It's done. And then there's a lot of kneeing people in the nuts and a lot of stomping on people's insoles. So yeah, it's something.
So Bruce, what did you learn in the Navy?
What do you want to know? Because
relax, and it won't hurt somebody.
Well, as long as we get away from the topic of kneeing people in the nuts, I'm fine.
Well,
that's what he learned in the Navy. Relax and it don't hurt as much.
Yeah, basically relax. It'll pass. The main thing is that what I learned 31 years ago is that my body can do a lot of push-ups in a day. I can peel a lot of potatoes. I can peel potatoes for 12 and a half hours with only a 7-minute break for food before I go back to peeling potatoes, because we had to peel potatoes on ship if that's what we got. And the captain's like, we're not having baked potatoes. So I can do that.
Oh, yeah.
I also learned that it's possible to piss off your E7 chief if you sink the barrel on the test fire of the 50 cal. It's like everybody got in their hard hats and their battle gear, their bunker gear for 20 seconds of activity. It took us 45 minutes to get ready, get dressed, and assemble. And you did what? You heard the ting, the wave goes down, and we don't see the barrel anymore. You can do that. I didn't do that. I did that once, and that they never let me on the 50 caliber ever again. We need to have people be able to practice. Go ahead.
To be fair, that's not the worst reason not to be allowed around a 50 caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he could have accidentally shot another ship.
I mean, I think I'm more like thinking like like when a Bradley or something like been blown up, and you need like to clear the barrel because there are some people who's gonna be like, "Ha, I'm a gunner," and then like they shoot like a chain of through a wall.
Well, yeah, yeah. There's you get trained when you're learning to be a gunner on a Bradley to not overheat it. But there is also a switch on the Bradley that increases the rate of fire. So I mean, just use your best. I never had to worry about because I was a dismount the whole time. So but yeah, there's definitely. I love my Bradley. You don't have to worry about jams though.
The other thing I learned in the Navy was
It's electric.
when you're overseas, literally any problem when you're on shore can be solved by just standing and waiting and observing for about 2 minutes and getting an idea of what's going on downtown in any city. Because if you just like rush off, like you see the first bar in the city and you run into it without seeing what's going on, who's going in there, like you might find yourself at a Blue Oyster Cult situation or Blue Oyster Bar situation.
That makes sense. Honestly, I thought it was going to go in a different direction when you said how to solve a problem in a city or something like that. I thought you were just going to say, go back on the ship.
No,
That would have been me.
no.
The guys in my platoon were always bitching about me being, as they call it, a barracks rat. Because they'd be like, we're all going out, bro. Come on. I'd be like,
No,
no.
I'm good. We would go out.
I got a TV. I've got an Amiga 1 with the extra 1 gig of RAM or something, or one. It was 1 meg. It wasn't a gig. It was 1 meg.
1 meg of RAM.
I'm playing Chuck Yeager's Flight Simulator. You guys have fun. That was in like 89. That's a cool looking thing.
Yeah, I did a little bit of ink work with them. Want to do a little bit further to get the pearls to come out.
Is that Shahagan?
Check this out.
Oh, the wolf. They
Yeah, I just hit it with some really black wash.
Yeah.
And after I do his teeth, he's done.
That's a good sculpt. They re-released it in the black finally.
Yeah, that's the ward.
Yeah.
And then here I've got the little wolves. And this one I hit with Noel on accident, which is not as dark as my Vallejo Game Wash. So I'm just going over it with Vallejo Game Wash. And then I might, if I'm feeling frisky, get a brown and do a little brown on it, just because wolves aren't always just gray. But if I'm not feeling frisky, guess what? It's going to be gray. And I don't care because my job is to get miniatures painted and on the table. So there's no shame in my game, whatever works fastest. But yeah, I dated a chick who was in the Navy, and she said one time they put in a port in Istanbul, and like they ended up having to run back to the ship because the locals were not very happy with them. And I'm just like, whatever, slut.
We had to have we had these Turkish come on board the McCandless in May of '94. I'd never been exposed to Islam before. I might have heard of it because I got upset that Cassius Clay is no longer that name, Muhammad Ali. Why?
Yeah.
Cassius Clay was cool. No, Mrs. Warford told us all about Cassius Clay and how much badassery he had.
Cassius Clay was a damn hero.
He was a fucking duelist. With very little in comparison to what he did. And watching him work, reading his story is like exhibit A for how to be a man. And whenever he had his name changed to Muhammad Ali, like I had that question in class because we touched briefly on the 700 AD and all those stuff up, the dust up in the Middle East. And I'm like, oh, so that's where Muhammad comes from. Okay, whatever. And I passed by that and forgot about it until '94, 2 years later. And here come all these Turks on board the ship, and they're all Muslims. So if you're in the kitchen service, like I was again, do not feed them any pork because they feel that's a transgression against their livelihood. What's that mean? They think you're telling them to kill themselves. Well, maybe they suck. Bruce, stop! And it was more like, Lombardo. Maybe they do. If you don't like bacon, you're a fucking fag. Bruce, we.
What's funny is, like in Judaism, there are dietary laws.
Yes.
But those dietary laws are placed aside if you are ever the guest in someone's house and they serve you a thing, even if that thing is not kosher, you eat it because it's a worse crime to disrespect somebody's hospitality. So, as a Jewish person, if you get invited to dinner and you accept and they serve you a big ham steak, you just eat the damn ham steak. You can always try to cleanse yourself and make amends later, but you don't want to disrespect a host.
And you're also allowed to eat it if it's about either you do it or you starve, if I remember correctly.
Right. There are rules. Yeah, exactly. If you're starving to death, you live. And I wonder, I'd have to look it up because it's been 20 years since I read the Quran. But I'm pretty sure even in the Quran, it says if you're the guest of somebody and they serve you something, it would be a bigger sin to throw a fit about it than to just eat it.
That and Muslims are actually allowed to lie. So
right, it's like what we see with these modern day guys. Think about this. There was a time when Baghdad was like the golden city of the whole world, and Jews, Christians, Muslims all lived together, got along great. I mean, Sinbad the Sailor style, you know what I mean? And nobody was bitching at anybody, and it was great. And then World War I happened. And the French guy and the English guy started drawing random lines to the Middle East. And ever since then, they have been pissed, you know? But yeah, not that I want to get into the history, but there was a time when the guy who ruled Constantinople after they conquered it, he celebrated like all the major religions of all the Abrahamic faiths,
yeah,
as they call it. So
the Emperor
he
of Rome.
acknowledged Christ, he acknowledged Muhammad, because he considered himself to be like the ruler of all the people. But that shit's gone now.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, that was the Emperor of Rum, R-U-M. And he didn't last long because more hungry barbarians came by.
Yeah, the Emperor of Rum, the Rum Turks. Because the original Turks come from somewhere near China.
Yeah.
They're not originally European. Hassan Piker looks the way he looks because throughout the generations of his family, they've married in with so many Greeks and Slavs that now the Turks are looking European instead of Asian.
Oh, yeah, Turkey is basically, and you are not allowed to say it's the Turkish people or in Turkey, they're basically a mixture of, what do you call it, Armenians, Syrians, and Greek.
Yeah, that's all. It's like if you took any tribe of Chinese people and stuck them in Anatolia and had them intermarrying with, Slavs and Poles and everything. Well, Poles are Slavs, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Over 1,000 years, you're just going to have a bunch of Slavic-looking people.
Do you have Pepperbox, James?
I don't know, but I do remember that you've asked me that before.
No, you would know if you do because it's like YouTube, but for the vets, the unsubscribed guys.
Oh,
it's service. Pepperbox TV. Let me see that.
I was watching that freaking veteran thing the other day. Vet TV.
Yeah, Vet TV. I don't have that. I'm going to get it. Pepperbox TV. Pepperbox.tv is what I was referring to. There is a special from Habitual Line Crosser where he's screaming the story of the Polish ship Byron.
I like Habitual Line Crosser. He's good.
I love him. He's one of the best out there. And he's talking about how after the Germans and the Russians got rid of Poland, how some of the Polish ships decided that they would go to the UK, continue their fight, and instead of them being involved with the Polish Navy, they were absorbed. And here's the Bismarck floating around, and this Polish destroyer the captain goes apeshit. The captain goes completely apeshit on the ORP Pyro Run because they're escorting merchant ships, and there's a few other military vehicles there from the UK. But here's the Pyro Run, and the captain's like, "There's a fucking Bismarck. I'm going to go take him." And for like an hour, he's doing everything possible to stay away from the guns and just landing these shells on the Bismarck. They're not doing shit to it because it's 1/10 of the size of the Bismarck.
Oh yeah,
The whole time he's screaming on the ship's radio to the Bismarck, "I'm a bull! I'm a fucking bull! I'm a bull!" Just fucking as fast as they can load the guns, they're throwing them their way, and they fucking almost run out of fuel and have to retreat.
I mean, I watched A Bridge Too Far, so I learned that there were, in fact, a lot of Poles involved in the war effort on this, working with the British.
Yes.
And apparently, when they tried to invade, was it Amsterdam? Shit didn't go to plan.
There was also the time that Napoleon allied with the Poles. That didn't go well either.
Right. So, you know.
So Poles are now honorary black.
I don't.
According to the what do you call it?
Those idiots that make up these rules, bro, they said that Slavs were not white.
I know.
And I'm like, my Russian ancestors disagree. I mean, I know I'm mostly German, but yes, my Russian ancestors disagree with this.
I so badly want to get away from black, white, and brown and just go with like ancestry.
I want to go with like chocolate, strawberry, and mango. Because I mean, East Asians can be mango, except for the Chinese. Or the Japanese. They gotta be vanilla. Because most of those is whiter than I am. And then I guess we could be strawberry because we're kind of pink, right?
I'm definitely pink shaded.
And then Africans, for the most part, can just be chocolate.
It's only March, and I'm starting to get to my POC stage.
Right. I mean, why does it gotta be a bad thing? Let's make this a good thing. Be like, "What up, my chocolate brother?" And you'd be like, "What up, strawberry?"
That's all respect or differences. Anyway, yeah.
Right?
I just hate.
Wasn't that the whitest guy you know that made that song, or?
Oh my God, the whitest guy you know that did the Hitler song?
I don't know about Hitler song. I think more like the one where like, let's all celebrate our differences, and then like it goes around the world.
He did the Hitler song, and it's all about Hitler coming back and becoming a rapper and like becoming cool with like people, saying how he don't hate anyone anymore. He just wants to wreck everybody at the rap game or some shit. And it's just like, what?
Little known fact, also dope on the mic.
Yeah.
Although that was Rap Battle of History.
That's Rap Battles. My name is Hitler, leader of the Third Reich. Little known fact, also dope on the mic. And it's like, what? What I don't understand is why they put Hitler against Vader, because Darth Vader wasn't like...
He wasn't real.
Not only was he not real, but even if he were real, he wasn't quite as monumentally affecting a whole world the way, you know, the offshoot painter did.
According to Star Wars EU, Vader was excessively bigoted, and the Empire was always kind of like racist, pro-human, but they would never allow a non-human to rise through the ranks of officer, and that
Right.
was especially prevalent until Thrawn came along.
Yeah,
Thrawn
that
the
was
first
why
one
they
to-
were freaking enslaving Wookiees and shit.
yes, and everybody else they found.
Yeah, pretty much. And then there was that second empire that rose up during the same time as the Crate Empire was going on, the Sith Empire,
Yes.
and they allowed everybody in. That dude was like, you know, so you had stormtroopers that were actually like aliens from Hoth and shit like that. Because that emperor was actually not a bad guy. Well, he's a totalitarian dictator, but he wasn't racist.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Man,
yeah, that was the
and
thing.
yeah. Speaking of hairy aliens, did you know Fawn actually said that the what do you call it? Evox was going to be a problem? Because even if they what do you call it? They were on flail snail.
Yes. James, do you
basic-
remember this?
Oh yeah, that's a big one though, or is it a big one?
It is a big one.
That's a big one because mine is like this.
That's
The new,
cool.
this is a new sculpt from Reaper.
Well, this is a, I guess, old sculpt from Reaper.
Yeah, this is the Bones 6 sculpt that they put out. So
Damn, now I don't feel manly anymore. I mean, yours is way bigger than mine. That's okay. My wife likes mine.
I would hope so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was where you were going with that.
Ah, yeah, that joke snuck up on Dean. He just didn't even know.
Yeah. I was distracted by like a post I saw once that like someone, I'm pretty sure they made it up, but it like sometimes I like to cover myself in Vaseline and enter like a sleeping bag and pretend I'm a snail.
Wow, that's pretty weird.
Yeah. Weird, but not a sin.
No, that unless he's like touching himself, no.
Yeah.
But weird.
I don't know if you're going to come down to Texas anytime soon, James. There's this little thing you see here called it says Hill Country Fair. You're familiar with HEB, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you see the label Hill Country Fair, that's their cheap brand, but the quality is still almost like what you would find on a national level.
Right.
So I've got to say their grape soda probably better than any other grape soda I've had.
Well, it just so happens, Bruce, my man, that I am a connoisseur of grape soda.
I like grape soda too.
However, in Florida, it is not called grape soda.
What do they call it?
Purple drink.
I will be honest. I thought purple drink was like some kind of
Those are bug juice.
shit post. What do you call it? The racist thing people called it, like to make fun of black
No,
people.
I shit you not. It's called purple drink.
Okay.
I mean, I've in my life lived in all black neighborhoods. And I'm telling you what, they love the purple drink and they love the purple Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah, I know.
And
I
there's
just
nothing wrong
thought
with that. And it's like the whole making fun of black people for liking fried chicken and watermelon. I love fried chicken. And you know what? I love watermelon. So F that, man. What, you gonna make fun of me because I like collard greens with ham in it? Knock yourself out. I don't care.
like what with ham in it?
Collard greens.
Collard greens.
Ah,
It's like
It is
mustard
big.
greens or turnip greens or spinach or kale or whatever.
Yeah.
Except you cook it with like a good chunk of ham in there. Oh my God. Good stuff.
It's so
man.
delicious.
Especially if you got some soup beans going, which are pinto beans that you just boil until they turn into soup. Oh yeah. Some soup beans with collards and maybe fried potatoes if you're feeling really freaking frisky. That's good stuff. I lived on that for the first 10 years of my life. And cornbread. And if your cornbread's sweet, I will excommunicate you from whatever
Yeah.
I can excommunicate.
Cornbread
you.
is never sweet.
Yeah, but those assholes on the northern East Coast and in Georgia, they want their cornbread to be like cake. And it's like, you guys are missing out on, you don't even know.
Yeah,
What?
that's a general thing people feel about American bread. Like I know that's mostly grocery store bread, not actually
yeah.
bakery bread, but that you put too much sugar in it.
All right, guys. My wife just came in and she said she's going to feed me some vegetables and stuff. And I have a rule: if she cooks, I'd have to go eat.
That's fair.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's the least I can do. She gets off of a 10-hour shift and cooks me dinner. What kind of asshole would I be to be like, yeah, I'm not going to come sit with you?
No, I'm streaming with my buddies. I don't need your cooking. Bleh.
Yeah, no, not doing that. So peace and love, guys. Dean, anytime. Bruce, I'm so happy to see you again. Hope I
Me
see
too.
you more. And
I'll be back
I will talk to you later.
Have a good
later,
one.
guys.
Yep.